Jesus, it's taking forever to even start. Now you're
Hello!
good. Hello!
Welcome back to a wonderful episode of Tales of Mokios, the Slayers. In the last episode, our heroes found out that the museum had a rather difficult story to tell. Somebody stole some artifacts that were quite dangerous, maybe even cursed. And then our dear heroes, before they had a chance to lay their heads down and rest, found themselves in a very familiar nightmarish terrain, with a quite similarly looking mirror mage staring at them.
Oh. Okay.
And we'll pick up there.
Well,
Oh,
I can't say that I'm not glad to see you, but I'm not glad to see you.
No, I'm super not glad to see you. No offense.
I completely understand the reference. No need to explain.
Coby's immediately trying to imagine up gun parts.
I would love for our venture here today to be, well, today is a relative term, useful, but the nightmare has been rather eyeful of me lately, and it might be wise for you to exit as soon as As he says that, he looks up, and you see a 100-foot wide eyeball appear in the sky and stare down at you. Its pupils kind of shifting and changing and not really seeming to take a continuous shape. As it looks down on you, the terrain goes from dusty desert and immediately begins to morph and change into a nightmarish terrain of eyes and teeth and tentacles and other things that you fear and may be creeping into your mind and inducing quite a terrible terror that you never thought was there, or maybe that you kept buried. Might be time to use that mirror spell I taught you really quickly. I can't hold this thing off for long when it's this big.
Yeah, definitely. Remind us how we do the mirror thing again.
And you sit down as a group and do the mirror ritual. The mirror ritual takes a while, and you just barely manage to complete it before Mirror Mage is like, go, go! And you hear the glass shattering sound as the nightmare terrain around you collapses, and you find yourself standing in a very unnerving mirrored hallway, which you know you only have a limited amount of time to be in.
Darn it.
I have this feeling that some divine power realized we learned how to cheese that realm. Let's go.
Okay, so does the terrain look anything like familiar? Like, do we recognize the same areas, or is this all just reflective nightmare shifting landscape?
Well, that is a rather interesting question. Give me intelligence saves all around.
Okay.
Hooray! Wow, I did horrible.
Saves or checks, because that makes a difference.
It is a save.
Just
Sweet.
remember, saves are reactive. You. I need a dice.
Retroverse is coming back for me, Scott.
Oh.
Are you using the same dice?
No! Every fucking time it was a different dice. I went through so many D20s last night alone.
You need a young dice and an old dice.
The power of Gygax compels you. The
Fire.
power of Gygax compels you.
Ooh, dirty 20.
Okay, well,
I'm not sure if
All
we'll be
right.
able to get out of this mess. 25.
all right. Well, everyone except the detective, Hazel, seems to remember this hallway.
Okay, good.
That one
So-
right there. It's a point right at it, probably.
Yeah, I'm going to take off on a dead run.
Okay, everyone begins trucking down the hallway. Anna, it is still very disturbing to not see your reflection anywhere. And a
Okay.
couple of times in your dead run, you run into the wall, which
Ow.
allows everyone else to catch up.
Okay,
What is your speed?
30.
Oh.
He's just like she full ran way ahead of you, but then like realized she can't see her reflection, so she keeps hitting the wall because she
Yeah, I
can't
have to keep
see
running
where-
with my arms out in front of me like this.
Yeah.
Coby slows down so people can catch up.
How fast are you?
35. I'm not that much
Whoa.
faster.
Maybe you should go in front. At least I can see when you bounce off of windows or mirrors.
He won't bounce, though, because he can see
You can
himself.
see his reflection.
Hmm.
Right, when his
Um,
reflection is bouncing off the mirror. That's what.
You can hear the
Not when he
hydraulics.
physically bounce. Sorry, that was unclear.
You can hear the hydraulics going off on the legs of his mech suit, possibly giving him
Which
the
does your
advantage.
suit make you taller, or are you still like...
Maybe
He's
an
still a
inch.
no.
Maybe like a few inches tops. Yeah.
Okay.
You,
Well, no, he could have installed stilts in there to stand on.
You move as fast as you possibly can down the mirrored hallways in an attempt to cut short the time you had. You do realize that the slow slope you had to go down, which ended up being a giant slide, which slid towards the mirrors you were looking for, was probably the part that slowed you down the most last time. This time it doesn't slow you down. As you're in a hurry, you quickly jump down it as fast as you can. Despite the fact that your boots or shoes or armor may be made of metal, no matter what you do, you can't seem to scratch the glass that this place is made of. And in many ways, you're probably at least slightly thankful of that, knowing what's on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And you reach the 3 collection of mirrors that you saw before. One particular mirror, however, looks different than it did last time. And you see a rather scraggly old man with a really long beard, and he's bald and kind of hunched over, and he's tapping on the mirror and looking inside like,
Is that the same fellow from before that was shaving?
oh, not at all. He looks completely different.
Is the mirror that we bought from these 3 the one that's sitting in Spark Industries Tower?
I thought it was attached to the car.
Yeah, I was like, didn't we put it in the car?
Oh
like,
yeah, we did. Is that one here though?
That
see what it
one
looks like?
is here as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Coby hops through it
Yeah.
like a Mario jump band, just boing.
All right. Does everyone follow suit?
Anna's just
Yeah,
going to poke a
I'll
finger
take
through
up the
the
rear.
one really quick and boop the guy on the nose and then run away and giggle and jump through the other mirror.
Okay.
You're gonna give this poor dude a psychotic break.
Okay.
Did
You
you
do
fuck with
that.
him last time too?
Mm-hmm.
The old man that was in the mirror.
Somebody
that
stuck an
wasn't-
arrow like partway through.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right. It tickled his
somebody
nose with it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I blame that on you. That was me.
You all kind of appear and plop down in the car as you come through the mirror one by one, and then get out of the car and realize that that very same mirror you saw the old man looking at is literally outside. And the old man is standing at what looks to be a strange mobile building of some kind, which looks very odd. It's made out of wood, looks very kind of haphazard. The old man's kind of hunched over. He's very much kind of Hunchback of Notre Dame kind of hunched over. One of his eyes seems a little bigger than the other one. And he kind of looks your direction as you pop out of the car, and he goes, "Ah, there's a mirror over there too. Interesting.
Remind me, aren't we in the middle of the desert?
Nope, you are right outside the archives.
Well, okay, yeah, but like in the
That's
middle
where
of
you park
nowhere,
the
it's
car.
basically just the.
You're north of the
Okay.
desert, but yeah, the archives are over by a low lot. Like behind the archives is a big mountain. It's not a place people
Hey.
normally come. This guy seems very out of place.
Oh,
Is he
hello.
wearing a Slayer
How's he dressed?
He is wearing what looks to be, in current attire, you would probably assume those are bathrobes. But old times would indicate that was probably a wizard's robe.
Ah. So does he have the flow flowing through him?
Oh, a lot.
Okay.
Especially his larger eye.
Okay. All right.
Does,
So I'm going to walk over kind of all friends.
His face looks like this, by the way.
is he wearing a Slayer's pin?
Nope, not at all.
Okay.
Can we help you?
No, but I'm sure I could help you.
Well, that's as may be. What
Okay.
can you do for us? Like she's like tripping over having to say, what can we do for you backwards?
Hazel, Coby, and Hashke, give me a history check.
Okay.
Ooh, let's see
Anna-
if this dice fucks me.
Anna, you don't get one, but you have a feeling that this guy is friendly.
What?
16.
You don't get a history check, but you have a feeling from this guy that he's friendly.
That is friendly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I heard French there for a second.
Yeah, that's why I said a bigger part.
I
18.
got a 15.
16.
All of you beat the check or got the DC or beat it of 15 to identify this man as Smitty, the alchemist. No one knows how long he's been alive, assumably a very long time. And he is most notoriously known for helping adventurers in their travels with very useful potions.
Okay, so when you say notorious, that makes me think that he's maybe not quite as helpful.
Nobody knows a lot about him, so they add notorious there instead of famous because they really don't
Okay.
know anything about him at all.
Because he's
that he
just
shows up.
weird and people don't trust him.
I heard
Right.
I heard rumors that he visited this very weird far-off land called Port Naranzaru and was selling scrolls about history or something.
Him?
I'm gonna look over my shoulder. It's like, that's curiously specific.
Oh my god, that's some episode 1 trackless C shit.
As if breaking the fourth wall, he goes, "Of course it is."
Okay, so how could you help us?
Oh, with potions, of course. I mean, obviously.
Obviously.
He turns around into the weird shack that's built around him, and he opens up a sliding door to reveal just an absolute wall of potions, each of which has a long string attached to it and a teeny piece of paper on the end. Here we go. This one, this one, this one, and that one. And he pulls out 4 random potions.
Do you have one that maybe makes you not have to sleep?
Oh gosh, if I had one of those, that'd be entirely useful for your problem, wouldn't it? And he hands each of you a potion.
Just, Anna's gonna look back at the group. It's just, does everybody know about this curse? Is it wearing on her forehead? Is there something on my face?
I have no idea. I've
not at
never
all.
heard of this shit before.
I've been around a very long time. Just rest assured I've seen quite a few very strange things, one of which might be someone in a similar situation to your own.
Especially if, as now, you spend a lot of time looking in mirrors.
2 or 3 summons. You never know who's going to come out. He taps on the large mirror behind him.
Uh-huh.
You just said 2 or 3 sums.
He did. I don't think it means what you're thinking, Hashke.
Hashke,
So
Hashke.
I'm going to read the tag on the potion.
It has your exact name on it.
Has my name on it. And how
That's
does it?
unsettling.
Your entire name written in formal print.
Oh, that's
And very small. The piece of
Oh.
paper is only this big.
right.
Kobe goes to investigate it, open it and give it a little whiff, all that
For
stuff.
sure.
Since he's got the gnome thing, he's going to use
My
his
name
gnome
tag
thing.
is a bit longer than everyone's.
Yours is still the same
Do you have-
size.
Do you
but
have
when you
yours
look
like
at it, you realize it opens like paper mache to reveal a larger tag.
you have an accordion name tag?
Yes.
For those wondering, Kevin's character's name is literally in actual
Navajo.
that's it, Navajo.
Navajo.
So yeah, it's pretty long. What does it mean? I wrote it down somewhere.
Salt warrior of the Salt Clan.
Daybreak Warrior of the Salt Tribe.
Yeah.
And it's a shortened version of how their names actually would be
Right.
parody, because I did 1 of 4 clans. I didn't have enough room.
19 on my Arcana.
This potion oddly smells like your favorite flavor of soda.
Oh wow.
Oh, I
I
see
know-
you've done your
I
research.
know nat 20 doesn't mean anything, but on my Arcana check, it's going to be a 24.
There is some pretty epic magic involved with this thing. You're not even sure how he made it.
Is this from
what
the
kind of
School of
thing
DM?
It does.
What does it do?
Oh, certainly is. What?
What does it do?
Well,
Well, what-
exactly what it needs to help you on your adventure. We might as well drink it now.
Oh, okay. That was going to be my next question. Um,
Do you say we might as well drink it?
Oh,
Yes.
yes, don't save it for later. All the best flavors are fresh.
Do all of them look the same? Like, are they the same color?
No. Each of them are your character's favorite color.
that's okay. So Anna is like, far be it from me to be ungrateful, but my life expectancy could probably be measured in mayflies if I went about drinking potions from people that I've never met before, sight unseen.
That would be the case if they were anyone but me.
Husky just drank his.
Well, okay, then I'm going to watch Hashke for a second.
Kobe does the same.
Hashke drinks it. Hashke, you may add 15 permanent hit points to your character.
Oh shit, he's gonna kill us, yo.
Okay. Cheers. And she'll knock it back.
You may add 15 permanent hit points to your character.
Huzzah.
Kobe shrugs, opens up the front hatch on his helmet, and down the hatch.
All right. You may add
Yes,
15 permanent hit points to your character.
Actually, no, he's gonna have like a tube funnel thing, and there's like a tube, and it's just.
Do you have a beer cap?
He has the beer cap. Don't do beer funnel.
Yep, it's canon now.
Put like a gas,
Just slugs
gas
the
port.
potion and stop, and it's like,
Kobe
Well,
knows
yeah.
how to party.
Yeah.
I'll down mine as well.
Okay, you may also add 15 permanent hit points to your character.
Hooray.
See? I told you they were useful. You never know when you're going to need to take an extra hit or two.
I mean, sure, yeah.
I appreciate this. What? I mean,
do
do we
you-
owe you anything? Or?
Oh, no, not at all. Nothing. I'm just here to help.
Thank
That's
you.
why I'm called Smitty the Alchemist. Now, if you don't mind, I have other things I have to do. He takes his entire stand that's built around him, and it seems to fold like an accordion into a backpack, and he puts it on his back. Well, it's been nice talking to you. He pulls out a tuning fork and a small pan of water, taps the tuning fork on the pan of water, and disappears in a cloud of smoke.
Oh, that's a trick. Do I know what that was?
Yes.
Okay. That's going to set off a little brain bug in my mind.
Was that a shift of some kind?
Huh?
Was that a shift of some kind?
Perhaps it was.
Have
Okay.
we ever heard of anything like that? Or just some of Smitty just showing up and giving somebody a helpful thing and then disappear? Okay, so that's normal.
That's
This is in character for
That's
him.
his
apparently.
MO. That's his MO. He shows up, he helps you, and then he's suddenly gone.
Out of character. Pretty sure he's over God. Just saying.
Okay. All right.
He's the IO of this world.
He's in.
Ayo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in every campaign I have. By the way, he's always there somewhere. He's the DM's helpful assistant.
He is the dungeon master from the cartoon. You know, the one
Right.
that literally just pops out of
Oh,
nowhere.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But he actually helps and then leaves.
As opposed to dropping off a bunch of level 1s in front of Tiamat.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Nice.
don't appear to have been gone very long in the dream realm, as everything looks like it did when you left. The only difference is you see a zeppelin overhead and a very familiar-looking sanguinare kind of approaching your group.
Oh, hey.
Sorry, dog.
Sorry to be on such short notice. I came as soon as I could. There's a bit of a problem. You know how we told you that it was okay and that we could just ignore Blackjack Lee's shenanigans for now? And you could deal with them at your
No, I
own
don't-
time?
Did
We
he actually?
have to speed up that timetable now. I'm sorry.
Oh, dear.
Oh, okay. All right. Awesome.
That was like 3 weeks ago. Husky don't remember.
What
We
day is it, actually?
run
Yeah.
into
I was
its
going to say, could you
second
remember?
day, which
So
was the day.
I'm wondering. I'm asking the guy how much time has passed since we've seen.
Right, which is the day that you left.
Okay.
So we got
haven't
back the
lost that
same
much
day we
time.
left.
Right.
Yes.
It appears almost no time has passed at all.
Okay.
We made very good time then.
But we were in the dream realm for, I don't know,
You
three
may
weeks.
also add to the Dream Realm clock. You may add 4 minutes to the 5 you had before, making a total of 9 minutes off of the clock.
Okay. Dream world clock minus 9 minutes.
Yes, well, an unfortunate series of events happened, and the empires of the North are going to go to war again sometime soon. And as a result of that, we need to pull our troops away from the coastline to better protect the citizens from monsters, as the armies that normally would do so are no longer there. So we need to get going. I brought the Zeppelin along to help you. We can tow your car there if you want, or you could leave it here. It's safe here.
We kind of need the mirror in the car, so we'll have to
No,
bring it.
if you could tow the car, that'd be great.
Okay. He looks over to the Zeppelin and kind of swings his arm around in circles, and the Zeppelin comes that direction and drops a rather large series of tow chains.
Coby's helping through this whole thing, treating it like it's an egg, because it's
Right.
his baby.
I mean, it basically is. It's one of a kind, isn't it?
There's no other vehicle like this one.
I'd hope it would be a pretty tough egg, though, if it's something that Sparks made.
Well, he's also more
Yeah.
worried about the mirror inside it.
Ah, yes. We got to get some suspension on that bad boy.
Yep. You very carefully help the tow chains get connected, and with your pulsating gigantic brain, Coby, you know exactly where to connect the tow chain, so it's not going to jiggle the mirror around and break it.
Okay. All right.
You have your choice.
Lower.
You
No,
can
no.
ride
Look,
in the
over
car,
there.
or you can ride in the Zeppelin.
Oh, I want to ride in the Zeppelin. That sounds like fun.
A rope ladder is rolled down. He kind of
Anything else
starts
coming?
climbing up. Your choice.
Is
Make
there-
it quickly, though. We're running out of time.
What are you two thinking?
Whatever everyone else is doing.
I'm gonna be in the car.
Huh?
Sorry, I'm gonna be with my baby. Slaps his hand on the hood. This thing can hold a lot of gnomes.
I'll stay in the car and make sure he doesn't fall out and get lost in the desert.
I was gonna say, as I'm sure, like he's found out how many nodes that thing can hold.
I'll go to Zeppelin, just in case. At least
Okay.
per group.
Yeah.
All right.
If you-
And you are lifted up off of the ground, those of you in the car. Very weird and strange experience as the car kind of shifts and swings back and forth with the momentum of the Zeppelin moving around. But you do fly up over the mountains towards the coast, up a little ways, and then not even really an hour later are dropped down behind a town. In the town, you see a rather large machine gun emplacement, kind of mounted to a large metal plate, a giant box of ammo sitting next to it. And there are two slayers kind of behind it, and they're spraying bullets down at the coast where it seems to be a continuous army of ghosts and skeletons marching up out of the water.
Oh, well,
We don't
Okay.
have a lot of time, you hear him say while you're in the Zeppelin. Get down there and relieve those troops. We need to find out, you need to find out why those things keep coming out of the ocean. We
all
can't
right.
have any more troops over here. The gun emplacement is going to be there for now. We'll get it later.
Okay. All right. Let's go then, I guess.
You're
The
gonna
car is
see
dropped down behind lines of the city, and the rope ladder is lowered so you can walk down into the town.
All right.
Small collection of about 17 buildings, most of which look as though they're designed to smoke fish or hold fish that are smoked. And there's only really a few actual houses. There's a rather large, elaborate dock area where quite a large number of fishing boats are parked. The gun emplacement is kind of set facing the shore. And you just see this army of like ghosts and skeletons just getting up out of the water, all of which have like rusty cutlasses and rusty tridents and rusty spears. And as soon as they're cut down, more kind of stand up in their place.
Question. The creatures that are they skeletons or
Skeletons and ghosts.
Shit.
Spooky and scary. Whoa.
Skeletons and ghosts.
okay?
At least they aren't super and there's no goblins.
I don't know how much my arrows are really going to do to a skeleton, Coby.
Kobe
Don't
looks,
worry.
Kobe
I
looks
got
at his gauntlet and is just like,
The
Yeah.
slayers that are manning the gun stop manning the gun. And as the army kind of stops for the moment, and they run your direction and they go, "It's all yours. We gotta go."
wait, what?
And they get onto the rope ladder, and the rope ladder begins pulling them up.
So, like, I have an army of dudes just fucking leave the.
It stopped for the moment.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
the minute they stopped getting out of the water, both of them were like, looked over you guys and went, "We have to go. It's all yours." And they truck past you over towards the rope ladder.
Thanks. Okay.
Shit! And he runs over to the guns they were at.
Yep.
They're still
You
there?
see- Yep, the guns look in perfect working order. It's a giant machine gun, like a World War II gun emplacement machine gun with a belt-fed pile of giant box of ammo sitting next to it. It's
Okay.
bolted to a rather huge metal plate.
Awesome. So Anna's going to look at that and smile and say, "One of you guys can have that." And she's going to whip out her swords. Sword. Sorry,
Kobe's
her,
already debating how he could get this onto the back of the car.
But
He
you're
knows
going to see
he'll-
Anna stride down to the sand, and she's
Okay.
Are you
getting that.
going to fight an army alone? Yep.
Well,
she's
Before
not.
you-
on my back, right?
Before you
What?
get
She's
past
like
the
expecting
gun
you to-
emplacement,
She's just like look behind her, is like, "What, are you coming?"
I mean, I'll shoot from back here. I wasn't planning on wading into an army of creatures.
Where's your sense of adventure?
My sense of adventure involves me staying alive for more of it.
Well, I mean, there's adventure and then there's meat grinder.
Yeah.
a shiver is felt down all of your spines at the same time, like a cold chill that comes from beyond even death. As
Yay.
you see floating up out of the water
Pickles.
a ghost that does not look like any of the other ghosts that were there. He looks very elaborately dressed and is wearing a captain's hat. He stands there floating above the water, and he looks your direction with a rather cold, heartless look in his dead eyes. And he says, as waves of blood washed upon the deck of the ivory web. It filled our hearts with fear and dread. Though time has passed since I've ravaged these seas, he draws his cutlass. No one shall have what was Blackjack Lee's. And he points it towards a part in the city. And then a literal legion of ghosts and skeletons begin pouring out of the water.
Cool.
Your direction. Or at least you assume that's your direction.
Ooh.
Everyone gets a perception check.
I'm gonna start taking shots at the baddies.
5.
There's a lot of them.
Oh, 16.
11.
You really should start
I rolled a 4.
You should just take your passive all the time, every time.
It's better in every way. It's as if I rolled a 15. My passive perception is.
Before you had to look, you noticed.
19.
Hazel, you're very, very much distracted by just legions of things pouring out of the ocean and the rather elaborately dressed ghost captain.
I mean,
19
it makes sense. I was.
Hashke and Anna, you both notice that the army is not moving your direction. It is moving towards where he is pointing.
Yeah.
Which
All right,
is
so
Although the army does look as though it's going to wipe out whatever happens to be in that direction. But it's a good thing you're standing next to a fully automatic gun.
what do we remember about the legend of Blackjack Lee from last session? Because this player's brain is not recalling it.
yeah, it's been a while.
He collects whatever gold is his. You take it. He comes back, kills you, takes his gold again.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I remember it. And people keep taking it for some reason because they're dumb as shit.
Coby's on the gun.
So
This
we
tiny
find
little
the
gnome.
gold. We find the gold to give it back to him. Should we try and like put him down before we do that?
Coby's already opening full fire with his machine gun.
Oh yeah, no, I'm taking definitely shots at this horde of undead heading toward the city while we're talking this out, because I can fucking shoot a bow and arrow and talk.
Coby says, "What?" But you don't hear him say it. He just you see the helmet looking at you.
It's so loud.
Yeah. Yeah, the constant repeating fire of the machine gun makes conversation next to it a series of yells that you can also barely hear over the machine gun.
So I'm going to be looking a little disappointed that they didn't come rushing at us, but she's going to try and holler at Blackjack Lee. It's like, who has what you need?
He says nothing, and his sword continues to point in that direction towards the city.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Something over there.
I'm gonna start shooting undead.
There's a lot of them. You can just open fire and you'll hit something.
So I'm assuming Coby and Hazel are on the two guns, holding them off.
Yeah, that probably makes sense. I'm not super great with guns though. Is that more of your thing?
Coby is. You should be able to cover whatever you can't.
Well, I'm looking at the gunslinger in the party.
Hazel, a lot of your assistance with the gun is more making sure the ammo doesn't jam, because this kind of machine gun is prone to jamming if the
Well,
ammo...
I thought there were 2 of them.
Yeah, there were 2 of them. One was kind of holding the ammo up like this so that it feeds in a straight line,
Oh.
while the other person fires
Okay.
the machine gun back and forth.
Oh, okay. I thought there were 2 guns.
No, it's one gun, but it's mobile, so it can turn around and like turn side to side. It can turn 180 degrees, but like it can't.
Are any of the other zombies like arm dragging like in the direction of whatever their objective is?
All the skeletons and ghosts that rise from the ground are all moving that direction in the city. And you cut them down with the machine gun, but more of them rise again and continue to try to walk that direction.
I kind of want to let one loose and just follow it.
Well, I don't think we're actually going to kill them all.
I mean,
Judging by this, we're putting like a shitload of bullets into them and nothing's happening, right?
You're downing them, but they're getting back up again.
it's more of holding them back.
Yeah, at this point, you're
Well,
just holding them
assuming-
back. One skeleton was ahead of the group and does appear to be moving into the city that direction.
All right, I'm going
If
to
there was
follow.
anyone
I don't-
alive that way, you really don't want that skeleton going alone.
I look to Coby.
Coby-
I'm like, I don't think we can do this. I think we have to try and beat them there. If we stop Blackjack, I think the rest will leave.
What?
Stop! Yeah, fucking
Here's the
love
thing.
it.
He just looks
Those
at
of you
he just
watching
looks
at home, an appropriate play of Pirates of the Caribbean music at this point, specifically involving Barbossa's army of undead, would be appropriate at this particular juncture
for
if you
10
wish to have something going in the background.
while having 10 hours of machine gun fire at max volume.
If Coby doesn't react to me at all, then I'm just gonna start heading that way. As long as I'm not gonna get mowed down by his bullets.
With Kobe's knowledge of guns, you're fairly certain Kobe could man this gun and load the ammo by himself just fine.
Okay.
He looked down and saw you doing stuff, but he can't hear you. And he was trying to like shoot them and focus on that.
Mhm. Yeah. So I'm just gonna start heading that way. And I'm nodding to the rest of you to like
I'm going.
Are you going with them?
how far away is the town from where we are?
From where you are, it's 20 feet.
Oh shit. All right, now then I will just fucking run.
Okay. You jog over that way, and there's a collection of a bunch of fish smoking buildings and fish storing and producing buildings, and you get 2 perception checks.
Okay. Is this to see? Well, okay.
You're looking around quickly.
Okay. That's first one's going to be a 10.
Okay.
The second one is going to be a dirty 20.
Awesome. Right.
So I got a 23 on my first one
Nice.
and a 21 on my second one.
Excellent.
That's fucking more like it, Dice. Damn.
And Hashke? You didn't go with him? Or you didn't bother looking?
No,
My
that's what you
highest
rolled.
roll was 4.
Okay. You went with them and provided cover fire, aka you just had your gun out and looked around like, I don't see anything. And Husky, you didn't notice anything. Both Anna and Hazel notice a pile of sand and a dead body.
Okay. I'm going to run
You
over.
move that direction as it seems uncharacteristically placed there. Kind of tucked away and hidden out of the way underneath one of the lifted buildings is a mountain of sand, and it kind of like lurched over a dead body that's like kind of like he just recently got killed. And it looks as though whatever killed him, a rusty cutlass in this case, is still impaled through his heart.
Ew.
Sitting on the ground next to him is a shovel. There's a mountain of sand he's kind of laying against. And there is a busted pistol, like the cutlass might have cut through the pistol and then stabbed him. The only salvageable thing here other than the shovel is maybe the clip from his gun, but his gun looks very badly broken. You're not sure if you want to touch it.
Touch. I'm just kidding. I'm firing in the background.
I'm gonna sort of kick the sand away. Looks like I want to see if this guy buried something.
It looks like he buried something behind him, and whatever he buried, he got killed burying.
Okay, I'm gonna kneel down and start digging it out.
All right, kind of scoop it over, and it helps. And with the shovel, you get stuff scooped away, and you scoop away what looks to be a treasure chest.
Yep, that's what I figured. I'm gonna open it up and look inside.
You see sitting inside the treasure chest 5 art objects.
Okay.
Each of which can be classified as priceless in value. They are made of solid gold, imbued with gems of various types, some of which you've never seen before, carved and cut in ways that are so magnificently beautiful and astonishing that it even seems to catch your eye. It just
Interesting
may
toilet.
not even have that much of an interest in treasure. And you look at them and you're like, God damn, this is amazing.
I'm gonna hold it up and whistle as loud as I can and yell, "Hey, Blackbeard, or what the fuck is his name? Blackjack. Is this yours?"
As you hold the art objects up, what is your intent?
I'm trying to get him to leave the innocents in the town.
Yeah, okay. So your intent is not to keep the treasure.
Oh no, I'm just trying to get his attention.
Okay.
Ideally, if he turns toward us, I'm chucking it into the fucking ocean.
You feel as though he is not judging you, but whatever you're holding is. As you kind of hold it, and you're like, ooh, and it seems to be like judging your intent. And Coby, you notice the entire army ceases to exist, and they collapse and fall into the sea. And the only thing that remains is Blackjack Lee, and he puts his sword away.
Kobe's
I'm gonna put it back in the box.
What's in the box?
Coby stops. Does he see?
And I now see that this army has stopped or
You
vanished.
see that it stopped, and you hear Kobe's machine gun fire kind of stop for now.
Do I see Captain
The skeleton
Blackjack?
that was a you very much see Blackjack Lee. He is looking right at you,
Uh-huh.
and he's just staring your direction. He put his cutlass away, but he's staring your direction.
Yeah, I put the thing back in the box and I closed the lid.
He reaches down for his sword and draws it from the scabbard again and rises it into the air and points your direction, and the army comes back.
I'm
to
gonna
life.
reach down and pick it back up again.
You pick the
I thought
scabbard.
he didn't want us to touch it.
You pick the treasure back up, and he
Yeah.
puts his sword away, and the army falls apart.
Okay.
Pick up, put down. Pick up. Put down.
Coby is very perplexed up on the gun.
Yeah, especially because you probably can't even see exactly what the fuck we're doing.
No,
We
you
just
don't see
him
what's
holding
going
up
on.
Something shiny, and that's about it.
Right. By the way, the art object you're holding up is a ship, and it is elaborately designed, and the ship's name is carved in the side, and it says Ivory Web. It is made of solid
You
gold.
Shit.
Yeah, Kevin, it was with a P, not a T.
Ship.
That first one, I was like,
Ship.
That's a really, really fancy art object, then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I've seen little golden piles like that on keychains on phones before.
I've seen little golden piles like that in certain games.
So
Suggestions? Do I just hold on to this forever now?
I think he wants you to huck it in the water.
someone grab the other half of the chest. Let's walk all of it
Yeah,
down.
let's walk
grab
it
it,
to
I'll
the water.
We'll just.
I'm
I'm gonna start
over it.
backing toward the ocean, watching him walking backwards.
Kobe
See,
doesn't
you-
realize it, but he screams to you, whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
You
Can I
from-
hear him
Yeah.
with my fucking amazing passive perception?
You definitely heard
Imagine
him.
your passive perception is ringing a little from the gunfire, but okay,
Yeah.
That's fair.
What?
like that.
You definitely heard him. As you drag the treasure towards the sea, Blackjack Lee nods, points at you, Hazel, and then points south and fades into the ground.
Start heading southward?
You look southward and notice it's one of the other fishing towns he's been assaulting. It's in the
You want us to
distance.
go to the next town?
It appears it does.
Do we take the
So we're
treasure
doing-
with us, or do
okay.
we just chuck it into the water from here?
You don't think this is where he originally buried it.
Okay, so we take it with us.
Oh boy. Oh well.
Lazy
We have.
ass ghost.
Where's backpack?
Where is backpack?
He's standing right next to you.
Oh, he was in the car.
He was
Okay.
there the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, he's a backpack. It's easy to forget him.
Yep.
Okay, back in the car. As I'm like dragging this big ass chest.
He looks at the chest and he goes, "Do you wish assistance in carrying
Yes,
those art
yeah.
objects?"
Yes, but I'll hold on to this one for now. Because when I put it back, he's not okay with it.
Maybe we should leave the chest. It weighs 40 pounds and is unnecessary. We'll just take the gold.
Wouldn't the gold be the bulk of the weight? The chest of soap shouldn't be weighing that much.
I mean, we could just put it in the chest on the back. The car can handle it.
Let's just take the chest and go.
Yes, we're going quickly.
Little guy's underneath.
Quickly
Little
as
guy
well.
underneath the chest.
You load,
You so tiny.
you load the chest into the car and then begin driving south down the beach. It doesn't take more than an hour and you've reached the other town. Summoning forth out of the water again is Blackjack Lee. He doesn't say anything. This time he draws his sword and points to a part in the city. And he looks directly at you, Hazel. And then looks back at that part of the city.
I'm gonna
Looks like you and
scan
your friend, Hazel.
the area around and see if I see any dead people that look like they were trying to bury something.
All right. Your passive perception alone at this point is enough to tell because you're no longer distracted by the ring of constant heavy machine gun fire. And you easily find and locate the dead guy who looks like he was shanked by a cutlass. Once again, stabbed through his heart. His shotgun looks as though it was cut in half, right at the point where it would be the most useless. There are probably 5 shotgun shells scattered in the sand around him and another shovel and a mountain of sand.
I'm gonna start digging in the sand
Fix that
again.
later.
And I'll
Okay.
help.
You dig in the sand and you uncover a treasure chest, and it sounds like there's a lot of coins in here. And you open up and you see coins, 100,000 gold pieces worth of coins, each of which is inlaid with different gems and equally as priceless as the last.
Well, crikey.
This shotgun, does it look like I could possibly repair it if I got the right parts?
You look like it would take some repairs, but it could be fixed. It also could be turned into 3 scrap.
Okay, I'm probably more useful as scrap, so I'm gonna have 3 scrap.
All right, you take the scrap shotgun. There are still 5 shotgun shells lying around.
Oh, I hand those over to our gunslinger friend. I don't know if he has a shotgun, but
I have a
he's got
shotgun.
Oh,
You have a shotgun.
I found a shotgun.
well, he
Okay.
leaves the shotgun ammo to whoever needs it.
So does Blackjack see us at this point, or is he have his back to us?
He is looking right at you.
Cool.
As
I'm
you
gonna
open the
point
chest
to
with the
him.
gold in it, he puts a sword back, and points further south again.
And start dragging it back to the car.
This
That's what I
chest
feel like.
weighs an ass load. There is
Cool.
100,000 gold coins in here, as big as a 50-cent piece.
I have a 12 strength. I'm gonna ask for help.
Kobe looks like the chest is
Helping.
pushing Kobe away from the boat. Or the
Can we
car.
just hook it up to the car and drag it?
I'm just like Anna. This entire time is like very fixedly like pointing her eyes away from the chest and all of that in there,
Mm.
just because she knows like this is not something she wants to be fucking with. But she also knows that she really doesn't want to be tempted either.
Okay.
Kobe has 15 strength, but that's not going to help too much.
You, with the assistance of everyone here, backpack included, barely managed to load the gold onto the car and realize that the car is going to approach max weight by the time you get to the last town. Because you heard there were 6 towns that were assaulted by Blackjack Lee,
Ugh.
all along the coast.
Would we be able to
Before
move the
or
art
at
objects
time?
from the first chest into the second chest?
Yeah, there's probably barely enough room for those art objects.
Yeah, we'll do that and chuck the first one. Just kick it out onto the sand.
Okay.
Mhm.
You dish the first chest. You're pretty sure he doesn't care about the chest. It's the contents he's concerned with.
You said like 5 pounds.
Well,
Yeah.
it would be saving weight.
It's something.
He
You got
puts
anything
his
else?
cutlass away, points south, and then phases into the ground.
A fetch quest. He starts the
Yeah, I
car
was
and
gonna
go.
say is, at least he could give us a thank you or something when he
Perfect.
disappears. Jerk.
And you travel further south yet again. Several hours go by this time, and you reach the town that's the 3rd town on your venture. This town looks as though it was hit really hard by Blackjack Lee's assault. There are no living people in this town. At least the last few towns you were at, you saw some people hiding in their houses or peeking out when the gunfire stopped. This town, there's no one alive. Every
So
house in this
they had all
town
the-
looks as though it was ransacked and torn apart.
Yeah, that sounds like everybody in the town probably had a little bit of his treasure here.
Possibly.
Yeah,
As you get to the town, he pulls his cutlass out and points to a particular part of the beach.
I mean, okay.
I guess we just drive right over to that place.
All right. You see a recently buried part of the beach, but no shovel. No dead guy. Everyone here appears dead in this entire town, as though they were killed by Blackjack Lee's assault. Maybe recently, you're not sure. Some of the blood that's in the sand next to some of the dead fishermen all look recent.
Please tell
There
me
is a-
one of you clever guys grabbed a shovel. Nope. Cool. I'm gonna start digging with my hands because I don't have jack shit on.
Okay.
Let me
You
look.
start scooping up some sand here, and
Can I use my
eventually,
patch weapon feature to summon a shovel?
that's
You
not
can
a
make
weapon.
it. It's okay. I mean,
What about a combat army shovel?
You could summon a combat army shovel.
yeah, I'll do
Go
that.
to the town's general store and grab a shovel.
Hey, look, there's 10 of them.
Yep.
You don't think the dead shopkeeper that's lying in a pool of his own blood with a spear stabbed through his back?
I didn't realize that we were in a town. I
Really
thought we were like out.
Yeah, I thought we were on the outskirts, not like in the middle of the fucking square where we can
Yeah.
go and walk into the hardware store.
Well, it's more of a fishery, but there is a general store.
Okay. Well, that'll be much more effective than trying to use my my packed blade spade.
Mhm.
Hashke comes back with some shovels and begins digging up the sand. You eventually encounter another large treasure chest with 100,000 more gold pieces in it, each just as incredibly valuable as the last one.
Backpack.
Backpack helps you move the chest into the car, and so do the rest of you, because Backpack can't move it by himself.
I was gonna say, is the suspension riding low yet?
His suspension's very low. And
Like the car probably is like, and then now it's like,
each load of gold drops the car lower on its suspension. And you move along to the next town. And this process repeats several more times. Each time you encounter, in each time, Blackjack Lee points out. And
One
all
wondered
the
why
other
the zombies
towns
couldn't
appear to
red
be dead.
themselves.
Say that last bit again, Blake.
All the other towns, unlike the first two, appear to be dead. Everyone was massacred in the town. It's as if maybe the assault was heavier than the Slayers could have handled.
Yeah.
Probably before they could muster a full effective.
When we get to the last one, what does Blackbeard or Blackjack do?
As you have all the treasure you're loaded up, when you get to the last treasure chest, before you dig it up, you see the person who buried the chest clinging on to life. As he sees you approach, he kind of coughing up blood. We shouldn't have dug it up. We're
Yeah, no,
mercenary
that was
captain.
super dumb. I'm gonna.
He said we could spend it if we were careful.
Who said that?
He's just coughing up blood.
Can-
His captain. Here, bury it where we found it. He barely hands you a piece of paper that's crinkled up in his hands, covered in, it's kind of got spotted blood on it.
I look at it.
Bury the chest. Bury it all.
Ooh. Can I do a medicine check to maybe keep this dude from dying?
As you kind of like, hang in there, you see he just like coughs up a whole bunch of blood and thuds over on the ground. And you're like,
Yep. Okay.
nah, it's not anything.
Pull
no
up the
sense.
paper. I'm assuming it's a map.
No.
It is a map. It's a map leading to a like low watery area. The water's only about this deep in the area there. You see the map mentions, and it's off the coast of a lighthouse that is south about an hour.
Looks like we have another drive.
Oh no, NPC number 47. No.
Yeah.
The foolish mercenary now dead. You take the treasure that belongs to Blackjack Lee and drive southward. You find the lighthouse there, guiding the light to ships so they don't get too close to the very shallow waters there. And maybe some of the rocks that are a little further out that you can see. And you see, sitting in the sand right where the map leads you, as you follow some guidelines of different jagged rocks and patches of things sticking out of the sand, you lead to where a massive stone chest in the shape of a skull is located. The top of the chest lid open, and the inside of the chest looks as though it could hold a colossal amount of gold. This chest looks reinforced and is made of some sort of altered granite.
Nice.
Okay.
I guess we're all going to help unload and start
Yeah.
packing in gold in the granite chest.
Beep, beep.
You
Does it turn into a dump truck there, Coby?
I don't know. Would I be able to just at least back it up to it?
You can back up to it, but that's
Okay.
all the further you can really get. And you don't want to leave the car here for long because the wheels will rust.
Yeah.
Well, we could just drop it in and.
You unload all the gold into the chest, kind of taking all the chests out, on the hand shoveling all this valuables into the chest. As you put the last piece into the chest and step back, you see Blackjack Lee himself appear and slam the lid of the chest shut, and then almost as if by some telekinetic force, drag it through his spectral body behind him. And then he draws his cutlass and looks your direction.
I'm backing away from the treasure.
A sparkle in his eyes of gold seems to burn. Coby, you recognize this. This is the dwarven disease, gold fever. It should not affect humans, but it affects Blackjack.
We're undead.
Well, he died with it.
Yeah.
Racist.
He points his cutlass your direction, and then he says, "No one shall have what was Blackjack Lee's."
I wasn't going to.
Initiative.
Oh, fuck me. That's gratitude for you.
Coby throws the 5 chests back into the car super quick.
Why?
Okay.
Who knows? We might need them later. He plans on it if he doesn't die here.
All
What
right.
did you say?
So
did you
my
get?
initiative is 18.
Let me look.
I got a 14.
I'm telling you, 7's my lucky number.
You got a 7 then, Coby?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, I did.
What's yours, Hashke?
17.
Okay. All right. Leading initiative, Anna.
Okay. She is going to go ahead and summon her her packed weapon again, and she is going to use her bonus action to cast curse or cast hex on Blackjack Lee.
Okay. Is there a save for that?
Not yet, but he will have disadvantage on let's call them deck saves.
Yeah, Hex,
Okay.
Hex is kind of broken like that.
Okay.
Let me look. Just
And
making
that's
sure.
he or she is gonna just hop back a little ways and stay out of like immediate range of this thing.
All right. By the way, his cutlass looks as though it's made of a combination of some sort of spectral material and metal.
Okay, well,
It has
likes my
3 blood grooves down the middle of the cutlass, which looks very unnatural for a cutlass, since cutlasses don't have blood grooves. His has 3 on either side.
Good to know.
Hex,
nasty.
level 1 spell, bonus action. You can use it at higher levels. And you're a warlock, right?
Yes, that's
What's
right.
your spell slot right now?
My current spell slot is 2.
2. Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't 3rd. Because it actually boosts it. For the next hour, keeps concentration. Our warlock friend will do an extra d6 necrotic damage, and also chooses one.
Disability to advantage check. Sorry, I was thinking. Warlock.
Yeah, you choose
First.
one ability. There's no save for this. It's just how it is. Only one
Okay.
target.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Remove curse ends it.
Or
Oh,
hitting
that's
the
good to
warlock
know.
hard enough.
Yeah, that too.
You're pretty sure removing his curse is well beyond you at this point. Okay, Anna, is that your turn?
Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. Hashke, you have a ghost in front of you. He looks hostile.
Is silver or cold iron better against ghosts?
From the legends of your people, you know that cold iron is more effective.
Okay. So I shoot him.
All right.
That would be 16.
That hits. And roll an extra d6 with your damage. Once again,
14.
Pirates of the Caribbean music fits this really well. Those of you listening to music at home.
Total 14.
I do right now.
14 damage? Okay. All right. And next on the initiative block is Hazel.
Cool. So I saw you pull out arrow or different ammo. Can I tell which one he pulled out?
There's no regular ammo.
Oh, it was regular ammo?
They said
Okay.
the regular is the iron.
Yeah, his regular is cold iron.
Okay. What would my arrow tips be? Iron, or would that be more like steel?
It'd be more like steel.
Okay, well, my only other option is silver. Do I think that would help? Or
Give me a religion check.
oh, that's not bad. That's a 16.
You know, the silver, while more expensive, would be equally as effective against the undead in this particular nature, since he is a cursed ghost. But cold iron's usually cheaper, so that's why people just go with cold iron, because it's way cheaper.
Okay, but I would want to use my.
as effective.
Okay, so then I'll use my silver arrows then, since my regular ones might not work as well.
Okay.
And I'm gonna shoot him. That's a 17.
That hits.
Oh shit! I should have used my thing. I don't have sneak attack.
I'm gonna sneak
about to
attack
say
that
it.
ghost.
I hit him in the vital.
Hey, in this
Spots.
edition, I can.
I know.
I think it's
7
really-
damage.
Okay.
I think it's really funny. I like to imagine like the Skyrim sneak attack with the dagger.
Yeah.
Um,
Full
Yeah.
animation, you just slit their throat, but they're a ghost. You know, it's-
Hashke, when you shot him, you noticed a chunk of his like ectoplasm kind of leaked off and splashed into the water next to him. Same thing with your arrow, Hazel. As you shot him, you noticed like chunk of ectoplasm kind of fell off into the water next to him.
Okay.
When the ectoplasm hits the water, it leaves like a sparkling electrical effect.
Okay. And then because I forgot to do it before, I'm going to use my bonus action to use Insightful Fighting, which means that I make an insight check versus his deception. And if I succeed, then I get to use my sneak attack against him, even if I don't have advantage.
Okay. Make it back.
Oh, that's pretty damn good. That's a dirty 20.
Okay, that beats his 14.
Sweet. Next time, bitches. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. And before Coby goes, Blackjack Lee goes. Who has the most gold in their pocket?
Fuck out. Anna's dead.
Uh,
Don't you have a lot of money?
I am, yeah, pretty clinky right now. I have 580 gold on me.
Oh, okay,
How do
never
you
mind.
have so much gold?
Beats me. It's just here written down.
Hmm?
I think I didn't buy anything with it when we got paid last. Like I
That
haven't
would
had a
make
chance.
sense.
Oh,
We
okay.
got a stipend, yeah, from the Slayers, and I
Oh,
haven't had a chance
okay.
to do anything with it.
The sparkle of gold in Blackjack Lee's eyes looks Anna's direction and goes, gold. As he floats your direction and swings his cutlass at you. What's your AC?
My AC is 17.
Holy crap.
He hit with both his attacks.
Ow.
You take 9 damage, 3 of which is necrotic.
Ooh. Okay.
And you notice that the blood grooves in his sword your blood trails down towards the like guard on the actual sword, and the guard kind of flashes a sparkly gold color.
Oh, son of a bitch. Does my purse feel lighter or what I notice right now?
Nope.
Right. Okay.
And Coby.
Coby runs up and does like a one punch man with his giant gauntlet
One punch!
to the side of his jaw.
Okay.
Let's see. Pretty much that. That's probably what he's going to sound like. With the 21, I'm pretty sure that's what he's going to sound like.
Oh, that's a hit.
Okay. That does a whopping 6 bludgeoning, and I'm going to use a power surge to do another punch.
Okay.
Whew. Okay, that probably doesn't. 14.
14 just misses.
Okay.
It thunks off of some strange spectral energy around him.
What did you say the disease was again? That dwarves normally get?
Gold fever.
Would Coby be able to figure out how to cure that? With
In
some
a
bullets?
living person, sure.
Yeah, what would that be? Like actual medicine or something?
Yeah.
Or, oh,
Mhm.
okay.
It's treated like a regular disease.
Okay.
But he's already died from it, so there's no treating him now. He's already dead. You don't know how to treat a ghost. You're not an undead doctor. Hashke.
Sure it's me?
I think it's Anna,
Oh,
actually.
sorry, Anna.
Okay, well then it's my turn. And she's gonna smile at him real big, and she's just gonna bring her pack blade down on top of him really hard. But it's going to crack like the rolling peal of like thunder.
Okay.
And she's actually casting booming blade. Oh,
All right.
okay. So that's going to be a dirty 20 to hit.
Ooh, that's definitely a hit.
All right. So that's going to be. Oh, that's right. I get to add. I don't know how much it's going to bother him, but it's going to add necrotic damage.
Okay.
That's.
Oh no.
Turns out it heals him.
Oh,
Oh
no.
God, we watch.
No, that's a 3.5 thing. I don't think they have that in 5e.
No, this is Blake's world. I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
I swear to God, if that's a thing, I'm gonna be so mad. Oh my God, I hope it's not a thing because I just rolled max damage.
Awesome.
That's a Yahtzee, baby. That's going to be 18 plus 5, 23. 23 all day.
23. Okay. How much is necrotic?
What dice are you rolling?
It's 2d6 plus 1d6 necrotic.
You're using a greatsword?
Yeah, it's a packed greatsword.
Oh, okay. I was seeing Anna with like a rapier. No.
Yeah, she upgraded.
Okay.
After she realized that the rapier wasn't cutting it on the Nothics, she went and got herself a Flamberger instead.
You mean what wasn't poking it?
Okay.
No, I meant what wasn't hacking it because it wasn't getting the job done, and we started hacking instead of poking. So yeah, that's going to be 23 damage all day long.
Okay. You cut off a big chunk of his ectoplasm, and it slops into the ocean and kind of sparks and sparkles around in the water as the ectoplasm comes in contact with the water. And now it is Hashke's turn.
All right, so I'm going to spend a grit point to get
Oh, I
advantage.
forgot. I need to make a con save to focus on my hex. Oh, that's
Sharpshooter, so let's see if I do good.
okay. So it's a 21 for my con save.
Okay. You maintain the effect.
All right, so
Unless Blackjack Lee does like over 20 damage to you, the DC will be 10, I'm pretty sure.
20 hits, correct?
Typically, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, usually, but
Because I'm pretty sure it got lower than that.
$29 damage for the first hit there. And then I will action surge for a second shot.
All right. You land a solid hit, and a giant chunk of ectoplasm falls into the water.
That is a natural 20.
oh,
Look 'em up.
Critical.
How are we doing crits on this one? Have we even gotten a crit
Okay,
yet?
Blake, do you want to
No
use?
crit.
Do you want to use these?
You can use the Xanathars.
Do you want to use the Xanathars? I want to
Sure.
make sure everybody's
I don't
agreeing.
have it, but sure.
The thing is with the Xanathars, though, if you use the crit table, you might want to use the fail table, and that shit hurts.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'll let you guys vote on it.
I was gonna say is the cat's had a lot of experience with the crit fail table.
I'm for it just because the crit successes are equally on the opposite spectrum of being really good, like being able to triple damage and stuff.
Yeah, I'm always against crit fails that can kill you when you accidentally fight a.
I kind of like the way
model.
Retroverse does it, where you roll max damage and then you roll again to see if you
That's
add a
crit
little bit
success.
more.
Their fails
Yeah.
suck.
Well, the fails suck a little less. It just means you hurt yourself.
I don't want to make you hurt yourself.
Or just do it the old vanilla way and roll the dice a bunch.
Roll those dice a bunch.
Yeah, we'll stick with
And we'll think
vanilla.
about it next time.
In this particular instance, it's going to matter very little anyway.
40.
What?
48 plus 2d6 plus 15.
Okay.
What are you using?
48.
What are you using?
Revolver.
A
Double
series of
dice roll.
several well-placed shots by your gunslinger slough off just giant chunks of ectoplasm from Blackjack Lee. As he looks as though he's barely clinging on to death, he puts his sword into its scabbard and stabs it into the ground in front of him, and he goes, "Yeah, bloodthirsty as I was, it's yours." As he laughs, his body turns into like a bluish turquoise smoke and sucks into the eyes of the treasure chest. And the treasure chest instantly buries itself into the ground, and you see tunneling into the distance at a rapid speed the treasure chest itself as you hear his laughter trail off in the distance.
Oh,
Okay.
And there's nothing more but his blade sitting in its scabbard in the sands in front of you, with watery sands, because the sands are over your boots, no matter who you are.
does it still look flowy, or is it still now?
It looks quite intensely flowy.
Okay.
Coby goes to investigate it without
I'm gonna
touching
Arcana check that. Do I
It
think?
appears to be made of steel and ectoplasm.
Oh, Jesus, again. Okay, so 24 on my Arcana check. Do I think this is cursed?
You're not sure.
Oh boy, what do
You
I
don't
know?
know what cursed looks like.
I got a
What do I know
24
from what's
on
from
my
24
Arcana.
Huh?
Sorry, go ahead.
I said, what do I know? What do I glean from the sword on a 24?
There is a
Arcana?
lot of energy coming from it, and there is definitely some unique properties of energy you've never seen in anything else.
Oh my.
Coby got the same on his Arcana.
Okay,
But
you get the
same
same thing.
result, yeah.
I think maybe we should take this back to your place to study, Coby.
I would recommend you put something on your hand before you touch it. I know there are some like cursed things that if you touch it with your bare skin, it'll mess
I'm
you
gonna
up.
use the end of my packed blade to like kind of like lift it up with the flat.
It's stuck pretty firmly into the sand.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull out like a scarf that I have and just wrap it around it. And
Okay. You put a scarf around it and kind of pick it up like it's not a weapon and just like a block of something, and then
Yeah.
set it in the car, kind of out of the way.
we can put it in the chest.
Kobe, you're pretty sure the car needs time to be rinsed off, or this salt water is going to rust the wheels pretty quickly. And the suspension, now that it's covered in water, you're all standing in about 2.5 feet of water. So,
Yeah,
Kobe,
we-
it's
Okay, I'm not that short.
Yeah.
I'm not that short.
start pulling it out of the water and
your armor is going to rust. You see standing on the shore the guy who runs the lighthouse.
do we recognize him?
No,
Okay.
but he's a salty sea sailor. He's wearing a bright yellow raincoat, and he's kind of staring your direction.
He ain't yellow.
He's waving his hand.
Should we go talk to that fellow?
You're
Maybe
all tired.
warn him to not let anyone else steal this treasure like they do every fucking couple years.
It didn't look like it stayed put, did it? I mean, it looked like it kind of went shooting through the sand under there.
I'm just saying, if one person found it, they're gonna find it again. Because it's been found before, and this has happened before, and they keep digging it up because people are dumb.
Kobe, at this point, you're in high alert. Everything is exposed to salt water. It's all going to fall apart if you don't get it rinsed off.
Oh
quickly.
yeah, while we're doing this,
Oh
he's,
no,
of
I
course,
would say we're
moving it
dragging
out.
it out of there.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
no,
get
we're not
the
just
car
standing
out
there.
of there. You all get to shore. As you get to shore, the salty sea sailor in his yellow raincoat walks your direction. Y'all look, you've been traveling for quite a while. You need a place to stay. I've got some extra spots up at the lighthouse. Might as well come up and stay a bit, he says, pointing to the large hill behind him with stairs. You can dry your car off up there, too.
You got any scotch?
Obviously, I run a lighthouse.
I knew it.
That, yeah.
I knew it. Sweet.
So I'm gonna grab that piece of paper that the dead guy handed me. That was a map to where this last bit was, correct?
Yep.
I would
Does
like to
it
have a
have
copy
a
of that.
name or any kind of markings on it? Because he said we'll be fine as long as you spend it fast, but we didn't get a who was he out of him.
You don't get any name written on the map. It is literally looks like somebody scrawled the coastline out here in pretty decent detail, and then wrote down shallow waters out to a certain distance, and then marked with the treasure an X. And it says last known location of Blackjack Lee's hoard.
Okay.
I'm gonna go
Does
ahead
it
and
look-
find a copy of that when we get a chance.
Does it look like a like scrawled on a napkin map, or does it look like there's a cartographer made this? Like, is there a cartographer's mark on it?
A cartographer made this map, but his mark has been burnt away.
Damn. Okay. I'm gonna roll it up and put it away then.
All right.
How long has it been?
You have traveled for probably about 7 hours, and have been in quite a bit of intense gunfire and other combat. At this point, you're kind of just tired from all of it. Your feet are soaking wet, and there's just uncomfortably large amounts of sand in your boots. Come dry your feet off and share a story. I'll share one with you.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
You look like you need a story to explain what might have happened to you.
We might need to be pointed toward a well though, so we can start washing the vehicle off before it rusts into a pile of junk.
I've got a plenty of water up here you can use to clean it.
Okay.
Happens a lot when people go trudging out this direction. Most of which trying to find the treasure so they can look at its glory. none of which are usually dumb enough to take it, except for that
That's right.
last lot.
Do you know anything about them?
Aye, foolish lot they were, led by some half-orc. Had a fool thought in his mind that he could take the treasure, and if I spent it fast enough, they wouldn't have to lose it. Damned fool met his grave.
I'm assuming the guy that coughed up blood and stuff was the half-orc, right?
He was a half-orc.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that sounds a little different. Like,
Yeah, he said he. Like he was talking about somebody
As if
else.
somebody told him they could spend.
right. That was what I took from that.
The plot thickens.
Mm.
As you approach the lighthouse, you see that he has like a hose connected up top where you can rinse things off that have been exposed to too much salt water. And he lays down like a pile of towels and he goes, "Have at it. You look as though you're going to need time to wash off all your stuff," he says, patting you on the back, Coby.
I like to think just comically he turns on the hose and he has no control on it and he's just like on it and just going just because he's so small.
Maybe at first, and then you get your feeding down and you're okay.
Okay.
It does comically throw you about at first, and then you're like, wow.
I mean,
okay.
he is a strong gnome, but he is still very small and light.
Right. You do eventually get the hang of it and manage to rinse off all the dangerous salt water before it rusts your stuff, do an immaculate pile of rust. And you dry everything down as best you possibly can. He has almost too many towels, as if this has probably happened before.
I use all of them,
Probably.
and I'm probably the last one to get inside because I try to like polish and wax and everything.
Everyone else is just kind of exhausted. It's been a long day. All of you are equally as just kind of like, wow, that was just crazy amounts of driving, and all that treasure was just so freaking heavy. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, no.
Like, imagine moving about 700-800 pounds worth of stuff like several times. At this point, you're all just like, just, it's been a long day. He sets down a plate of food in front of all of you. It's fish and mashed potatoes. Not much, but it's enough for a sailor.
Quite enough, thank you.
Coby, it's almost too much food. Almost.
Almost?
Almost.
Okay.
The scotch helps.
I was about to say, it is because
Yeah.
he drinks more scotch than normal.
Hazel would definitely ask about that scotch probably before Coby even comes back in.
Before he even hands you the food, he sets down 2 bottles of scotch and opens them both. I'd say you've earned it, and I'll share a tale with you as you eat.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Mhm.
'Twas quite a long time ago, maybe 2,000 years or more. Some say 2,500 years. When the sailor known as Captain Blackjack Lee sailed the seas. It was the most ruthless and bloodthirsty pirate to ever sail the seas, commanding an armada under him of men who all feared him more than they did anything else. His greed knew no ends, and every bit of treasure he had he spent again and again in making his wealth even more immaculate. The gold you see encrusted with gems is probably worth untold amounts of fortune. And it was his end, as Blackjack Lee found out he had contained the disease known as gold fever. Normally only affecting dwarves, but maybe the greediest of men could be affected. It feeds on your greed and drives you mad. Many a sailor has been driven to their grave by it, attempting to find his very treasure. Blackjack Lee, however, met his end better than most. An armada of the known empires gathered together in allegiance against Blackjack Lee himself. And in one massive battle, Blackjack Lee's men fell. As the last of the invading troops came upon his ship, Blackjack Lee in his greed slew his own men. And his dying words were those you've heard before, as waves of blood washed upon the deck of the Ivory Web. It filled our hearts with fear and dread. Though time will pass since I've ravaged these seas, no one will have what was Blackjack Lee's. As he laid those final words, he struck the powder keg with a flint and blew the entire ship to pieces, killing him and all the invaders aboard. His ship was destroyed, but his treasure safe in the stone chest you saw, covered in his blood and the blood of every sailor slain on the ship. This curse of greed fills them. And whenever someone takes his treasure, he can bring them all back to serve him in an army to recover it. Alas, the men lack the ability to really bury it again, so they terrify the coasts of anyone stupid enough to take it. Happened 3 times before. That was the 4th.
Who was in charge of it last time? Are those people all dead?
Aye. And every time has passed, people forget that the treasure is cursed. And every time somebody digs it up and remembers.
We know where it's buried. Why don't you just put a watch on it?
Because he moves it.
Oh.
He doesn't want anyone to find his treasure. And when they find it, maybe it's by luck or by magic or by
How did they
worse.
find it though?
No.
I guess
One
it could have been
man-
magic.
One man ages ago had a magic compass. Told him whatever he wanted, wherever direction it was. No one knows what happened to the compass. But that man is dead. Like many others, he attempted to take the treasure. Like many others, he died finding it. You got lucky. You left Jack, and you still had all your parts. Many people don't leave a fight with him having all their limbs. You should count yourselves lucky. He points towards Hashke. Your marksmanship is what saved their arses.
Yeah, thanks.
Mhm.
Also, how the fuck were you rolling 48? Do you do 28 normally?
2d8 is my normal with
Shit.
revolver. 48 is free.
Yep.
I was adding a d6 for some reason.
2d8 is a lot. Okay.
I do one thing.
I shoot things. I shoot them very good.
Yeah.
That was a fascinating story. Thank you for sharing that.
I'd say after all you had, you've earned it.
And I'll proceed to relay the time that Anna and her old party of compatriots were trying to infiltrate a bandit's camp, or not a camp, more of a keep, really. And she was chasing their quarry down their little escape hole tunnel and got too close to a friendly fire spell and reflected her own magic blast on full right back into her own face and died. And then her friends brought her back, and it was the funniest thing.
I'd say I've
She has
ever
a
met
very
someone
curious
who's
sense of humor.
died back again.
She's referring to her own death and resurrection as if it was just like a funny lark, and it's a little bit of there's something just a little bit not right about her enjoyment of that, but you're not really quite able to put a finger on it.
The sea sailor appears unaffected, as if maybe he's heard quite a large number of tales indeed, some of which may be more outlandish than yours. Your party members, however.
I don't know. I think I'm starting to freak out Hazel. With
Yeah,
this.
I think at this point, Hazel just thinks you've gone insane. Because, like, as far as she knows, your magic is not sufficient enough to do the things you said you've done.
Well, it used to work a lot differently.
Mm. Yeah, she just thinks you're crazy.
Feel free to stay here for the evening. No sense in working your brutes any farther. They're probably not going to dry out until the morning. You had a lot of seawater and sand in them. Best you get some rest. He refers over to a large collection of cots he has. I've had visitors before, as you can tell.
Mm.
Yeah, we will need to sleep.
Help yourselves to a rest.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. I'm just gonna go crash on one of the cots pretty directly because he's exhausted.
Yeah.
A full belly and some stories, and a lot of you are happy to at least get some rest.
I'm hoping I'm sufficiently exhausted that it's a dreamless sleep.
It was not.
Fuck.
3 of you failed.
Fuck. Okay.
and you find yourselves standing in a particularly dusty desert as you awaken.
Who's here and who's not?
No one.
No,
You
I'm
are
saying-
all here, but you see no one else.
Okay, so if even one of us fail, then we all go.
Yep, that's
Oh,
what it
wow.
appears to be the case.
Okay.
That sucks.
By the way, you also see Backpack here.
Oh, backpacks.
So we're standing in the desert,
You're standing in the dream room.
in the dream realm. Okay.
A dusty, rocky desert with a skyscape of scintillating colors, tentacles, teeth, and occasionally an eye.
Oh dear.
Do we see our friendly wizard?
Nope.
I guess let's sit down and start to do the ritual again.
Yeah, I was gonna say is unless we can. Does it look like we're in the same general vicinity as we were, or is this just so morphic that it's impossible to tell?
You are not sure where anything is anywhere in this place.
So we shouldn't try to hope that he might be around and just get on with it. I agree.
Adamantium.
Give me an intelligence save.
Is this magical in nature?
It is.
Okay. Rock gnomes get advantage.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. 18.
Okay.
That might not work. It's adamantium.
You were like adamantium as you begin to kind of think of adamantium, and you want to kind of picture some to appear, and you see a tentacle come up out of the ground, and it has an eyeball on the end of it, and it looks right at you.
I think we need to go now.
Yep, let's go.
Do I stab it, or do we just do the ritual?
It sinks back into the sand, and overhead, as you begin to think
We
about the
know.
ritual, you see a giant eyeball kind of appear, and you hear what sounds like the terrible sounds of nightmares filling your ears as you begin to try to complete the ritual, and you just barely manage to complete it as the desert around you turns into a hellscape of terror and nightmares.
Oh, come on.
When we land in the mirror dimension, the first thing Anna's going to do is slap Coby on the shoulder and say, "Stop that!"
You know how hard
And
it
now
is to
you
get
stand-
adamantium?
And now
Do
you
realize
stand
how much I
in a
want to not
hallway of
die in this
mirrors.
realm?
It's
Start heading the way that we know.
Yep, we're just going to book it.
You book it. Add another 4 minutes to the mirror clock as you make your way back to the car.
hooray. Chicken gets back to the car. He just probably falls asleep again.
How many minutes did we lose again? I'm sorry.
I
We're
rolled
at
for
13
time.
minutes now.
Yep.
13.
So when we come back, do we have a long rest, or did we get our sleep interrupted?
You're not sure. When you wake up, though, from when you get back, and Coby is just like, ugh, and acts like his sleep's been interrupted and goes back to sleep again, just in the car.
Yeah, but like it's gonna matter when we have spells.
In
like
the
now.
case of spells, I'm not going to interfere with that.
None of you have seen this before, but the armor keeps itself upright, and he just sleeps in the armor upright.
Oh, he just falls asleep right standing up like a horse?
It goes into like lockdown stuff, like it's just like you hear like a bunch of like plates shift over and just like
Right.
kink, and I just lock myself in place essentially.
Yeah, but I was going to say, it's like, it's going to matter less for me because I have pact magic and I can refresh on a short rest. But for things like Mystic Arcana later, and also for people who
As
don't.
far as spells go, I'm not going to interrupt your sleep with that.
Okay.
Well,
This effect is kind of like if you fail the check at the end of your sleep, you find yourself where you're not supposed to.
Okay.
Got it.
we still need a long rest every 24 hours or you gain exhaustion.
Right. This isn't interfering with that either.
Okay, so it's basically if we go there, we go at the end of our sleep.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
more of like an astral projection kind of thing. Like it just takes our astral body there.
Right.
Okay.
Well, only in this case, it's actually your physical body.
Okay.
So where do we go from here?
I think probably
We still
need
have
to
to-
report back. We need to let them know that we've taken care of the Blackjack Lee problem. Let them know that the treasure
The
is
thing is,
moved
we
again.
have. The thing is, we have another mission that's supposed to be more urgent than this one was.
Well,
have
I
to
was just going
find
to say
who-
is we could report in on the way to go to the next place, but we still need to let them know the situation. Is
I
bad.
don't. Yeah, but like, I'm sure Hazel would, but I have no idea. Is that on the way, or is that like? further away from where we are. So like the two places we, Anna wanted to go back and update the Slayers and tell them what we know. But we also know we have to go to the swamp because that's where we think it's the swamp and the desert are the two clues that we have for where people were from that were in the museum.
Right. I should also note, Hazel, you have 2 pieces of glass you can add to your inventory that have matching thumbprints.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
that reminds me. Now that I have a chance to think about it,
Both of those were pulled from the glass, taken from the items that had sand next to them.
Glass with thumbprints. Where was this? Oh, that's right. No, it was with the
In
sand.
museum.
Okay, yeah.
I read through my
yeah.
notes again and realized I should have told you those.
Okay.
so again, does Anna have any gold missing out of her purse?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Coby,
Got kind
I
of
think
worried.
maybe he would have taken the gold after he killed you.
Well, that's what I was saying. Is when she took the one hit and like he started glowing gold, like had that momentary thought, like, shit,
Right.
is he, like,
Crap, did he take my money? Yeah,
stealing my purse? What the hell? But
right.
no, that's fine.
before we leave, since we were staying at this lighthouse and we technically just disappeared without him knowing.
Right.
Coby doesn't go up to interrupt his sleep, but he does leave one of his bottles of fine wine there and a note saying "Thank you for the stay." Signed, C.S.
Okay.
So did we determine that one of those was on the way to the Slayers? Or the Slayers was on the way to one of those?
You know that the Slayers have bases of operation all over the place, specifically also in the Desert City, as well as on the way to the swamp. You would have to go past the archives again because you're at the coast right now.
We could do that. It might be smart to go by the archives anyway and see what we can learn about some other stuff.
And maybe drop off that sword.
Yeah, I was gonna say is we probably should put this under lockdown.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why you guys keep thinking I could put it back in my tower. We don't want any cursed stuff in there.
I mean, I didn't say anything about putting it in your tower.
Every time we get something that's high-level magic and cursed, you're like, hey, we should take it back to Coby's place. Maybe they can do something about it.
I mean, the only thing I was thinking was that shard in a box, but then they said they can keep it there. That's at the museum right now, I think.
Them a shard in a box.
Where did we pick that up again?
It was on the noble.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
The noble whose house was infected with Nothic, who
Yeah.
you assume
they-
to open up a portal to the far room.
Yeah, along with that
Yeah.
signet
The
ring.
dream realm. Along with the signet ring. Yep.
When we go,
Strange signet
Yeah,
ring.
so they should be able to keep it there. And it should be safe at the museum. I mean, hopefully this guy who stole from them already has what he needed, so he's not going to come back.
And I didn't want us to keep it at your tower. I just thought we could take it back for analysis. It's got some really, really nasty mojo on there. Need to figure out what it does.
I think it'd be safer. I move the entire lab over to the archives.
You're not wrong.
Typically, when you have a cursed thing that's super powerful and is ready to break out of the box that you have it in, maybe poking it in the lab isn't the best idea.
Oh, it's always the
Just
best.
saying. No, it's not. It's super dumb.
Our labs aren't made for magical item capabilities. They're more for, vehicles and guns.
You also,
Also,
know,
when
Coby,
you
that
come
nobody
upon a
wants
cursed
him.
item, maybe don't poke it.
Yeah.
What fun is
think-
that?
Playing with it was the reason that Endopolis was driven mad by it.
Coby remembers a certain somebody named Hazel was the original one that opened it, but doesn't say anything. That was the thing with a bunch of
Okay,
whispers
I
and
didn't
stuff.
know. I just thought it was a puzzle box. I didn't know it was some magical curse shit. I just thought it would have like a clue in it.
He doesn't say anything. Don't worry.
We have such sights to show you.
You could build a Coby magical research lab later.
Yeah, I was going to say is that's definitely something that Anna's going to be working him for, is setting up a
I
magical
mean,
art.
we are members of the Slayers. If at some point we determine that we've gained enough rapport in the guild, then we could see if they'll let you set up a lab there. considering it's kind of a thing they don't really have. They don't really have a science division. They've got like books out the wazoo, but
They lock it away and hope nobody finds it,
yeah,
which obviously doesn't work because somebody found it.
clearly, yeah.
I think Coby, you could have a real lucrative venture on your hand here if you volunteered to.
Coby has a thought
collaborate.
bubble come up, and it has like one of those like Disney World where they get like the poster of like, here's what we want Epcot to look like, but it's like an extension onto the archives that
the
is
like
like the
World
tech
of
facility.
Tomorrow from
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's like it's just in his head, so you guys just seem going.
Oh, yeah.
"Hmm."
Okay, Anna's gonna like reach up and like summon a Sharpie, and at the very end, she's gonna equals gold, GP drag.
All right. You travel back towards the archives and realize you could kind of kill two birds with one stone, and on your way to the swamps to recover the audio tapes of Heinrich Venrich, which you are all fairly certain no one should hear ever. You stop by the archives and see the same group of Chrome Warforged standing outside, kind of guarding several areas. The same two Chrome Warforged, at least you assume it's the same two. It's hard to tell them apart. They're all shiny and chrome.
Shiny and Crow. To
They kind of-
Valhalla. Witness me!
Anything new?
Nothing new to report. Everything seems as it is.
We have maybe another thing to put behind glass. I'm gonna open up the chest and pull out the covered up sword.
What is that?
It's a sword owned by Captain Blackjack Lee. Maybe super cursed, has some kind of gold fever
Eyes
to
are kind
it.
of like this, and you see them kind of open like this. So you say that it's Blackjack Lee's sword. He kind of like, whoa. And he's like, that's above my pay grade. Just a second.
Okay.
And he walks off to get a captain. Another Chrome Warforged walks up that has a little gold pin on his, like kind of like magnetically attached to his left chest. And he walks up to your direction. What is this about a cursed item?
Well, we
Blackjack
have.
Lee sword.
Yeah, I'm gonna like open it up and flip it open still, so I'm not touching the actual thing. But
He kind of reaches his hands out like, may I?
maybe have the thing around it. But you know.
Oh, I'm not touching it. He kind of looks at it.
Yeah.
Fine, all 9 levels of hell. The flow through this is amazing.
I've tried not to look at it. It's a little disorienting.
There is some power here that cannot be wielded otherwise. This should not be wielded by anyone. He wraps
Didn't
it back
think
in
so.
cloth. We will lock this away where none can find it. Obviously, Blackjack Lee probably knows where it is. But we'll lock it away, and assumably until he probably comes to get it.
I did wonder. There was a thing we had realized while we were looking for this. I was wondering if you could ask Archivist Octavian to pull if we have any books or documents on the former attacks by Captain Jack Black or Blackjack.
Oh, I'm sure he has all of those stored away.
Yeah,
Blackjack
just
Lee
like
has
put them on the
some-
side because I want to look for them later. Because it seems like somebody told these folks to do this.
Blackjack Lee has his own section in the library.
Oh, good to know. Okay.
It's not big, but still.
And then do you have anything on we can just go to the library. Do you guys just want to go to the library?
Sure.
Because I was wondering if we should stop in and look and see what to expect in the desert and the swamp.
You go into the library and you see the Chrome Warforged captain follows you in and goes to the vault area, opens the vault doors and goes inside with the sword kind of like at arm's length, like his arm's fully extended and it's holding in his arm like, oh, get it away, kind of like that as he's walking in. And he like walks inside and you hear something close and some chains wrap around something and then he pulls the vault door quickly behind him and he steals it shut. By all 9 levels, holds it. It's not ghost proof. He kind of walks outside.
So we're in the library now.
Is there a way to ghost proof it?
Well, there have been a few theories.
Take a look at books.
Oh, well, we can look at it in the library.
There are tons of books.
I believe if we made a prison that was built as part of the ethereal plane, that might work.
Okay.
But you would have to be able to make it stay tangibly in the material plane, which is kind of difficult.
So I'm gonna first, because it's more pressing, look and see if we have any books on the swamp.
The swamp in question is the native homeland to the Retrexan people. It is the homeland of the lizard peoples known as the Retrexan, who were recently brought back to life by Heinrich Venric himself.
Like the whole race went extinct and he brought them
Yeah.
back?
He
Are
brought
they
them back
undead, or
from
are they,
extinction.
Okay, so, all right.
No, they're literally alive. Like he brought them back from extinction, genetically engineered them using many horrible experiments of blood.
Great.
Hey, Coby, according to this book, if you plate your armor with chrome, same with the wheels, it'll resist corrosion from salt water and stuff. As we look at the chrome-plated Warforge.
So would adamantine or mithril.
Chrome's cheaper.
Chrome's a lot cheaper. A hell of a lot cheaper.
How soft is it compared to steel, though?
About the same. It's used to make stainless steel often. So you just coat it with it.
Okay. Next time we go to Stark Tower, it's what he's doing.
Also anti-ferromagnetic at low temperatures and paramagnetic at higher temperatures.
Wait, give me that. He takes great interest in this book.
Oh.
It's almost like somebody spent like a half an hour in Wikipedia recently.
Oh, boy. So, Anna's going to be looking for anything that really catches her eye regarding planar magic or anything that might help her understand better what that noble was attempting to pull with that ritual, or things that might help her get home.
Okay.
That's her constant, like, underlying backburner thought.
Right. Hazel, what are you researching?
I was looking for whatever I can find on the swamp and the desert. But
The
also,
desert?
Go ahead.
The desert, ages ago used to be an anti-magic zone. The entire desert was an anti-magic zone. You're fairly certain that magic works there now, and you're not sure why. In recent years, people believe it is the return of the brothers that is the reason the magic works in the desert now. Those three gods that you talked to once.
Yeah.
And you know that the Great Desert City is just simply called the Jewel of the Sands by many people as a nickname. No city really has a name on Morkias, but this one is the only one that comes close. Cog is the only city to actually have a name. But this city is called the Jewel of the Sands, and it used to be an old fortress ages ago in the desert, and has since expanded into a massive city. This city has a railway station that goes to it, and many people can go from it and come back to it anytime they want.
So could we follow the railroad there?
There's a rail system that goes all the way there.
Okay, that might be smart.
Does the car have rail wheels that it can adapt on there?
Yep.
Rails
All wheels are made with cogs, and all cogs fit all rails.
And all cogs made from Spark Industries.
The other question I was wondering, do we think that our chances of running into one of those anti-magic dust storms would be increased in that desert?
You know that particular type of magic weather is more commonly the only type of magic weather that happens in the desert.
Great.
Okay, so we will possibly run into it there.
If you do, it'll be probably more likely what you run into.
Okay.
Let's see. And today's weather is
Partly sunny with a chance of rain. Also snow. High winds.
high winds. Yeah, a really bad thunderstorm and high winds.
Low pressure is coming in from the south, while high pressure is coming in from the north, while low pressure is coming in from the west. Chaos
So for what
ensues.
it's worth, she's looking at various different things, mostly with nature and then maybe a little bit with religion for the undead stuff, because I'm thinking of next level when I go to Rogue of picking up the skill sheet for nature and religion and maybe medicine. I don't know for my third one.
Right.
I figure she's Batman, so being smart is probably helpful.
Yep. Batman knows things.
That's what she's trying to go for.
Batman knows things. And you spend some time studying. We'll say a few hours. Doesn't really count as time spent doing anything because studying is kind of like free time. It just takes time to do. Hashke, what do you in particular study, or do you help Coby try to make stuff not rust?
I'm just grabbing random books at the moment.
Okay.
Just reading every little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Please tell me he finds smut somewhere.
Already.
The lusty, what is it?
The less you're going to
Retrozin maid, definitely.
Yeah.
'Cause those are the lizard folk, right?
Yeah. Those are the lizard
Yeah.
folk. Lusty Retrozin
It
maid.
says it's called The Tale of the Lizard Queen, and it's spelled
Yeah.
Tail.
Yeah.
You hear Anna like in the corner reading in one book. Plenty of time, my sweet.
Kobe's like, ooh, chromium vandalism steals. Wait, no, tungsten. We'll go with tungsten. That looks good. Ooh, what's a silicone magnesium? Ooh.
I'm just having flashbacks to the time that I was like 8 years old and went to the biggest library in the city and had a freaking heart attack. It just spent like 20 minutes like, I don't know which one to pick and read.
Pretty much. This particular library is even more vast and immaculate than that, as there's quite literally everything about everything everywhere.
I will note where the section on Captain Blackjack is, but I've figured we've got more pressing matters at the moment.
You know, it's a section about 4 feet across and about 4 feet tall worth of shelves, and every single book is some historical book about something Blackjack Lee had did.
Cool.
If Coby has time, he looks at any books that have to deal with constructs, creations of constructs.
There are quite a few books here written exclusively by dwarves in the dwarven language that deal with that.
And finally, she is going to look for anything that she can find regarding, like, the way that magic item crafting works in this universe. Because she's still trying to figure out the way that this planet or this dimension does its magic, and it's like she wants to get back to making things at some point.
Okay. You begin studying how item crafting is done. All right. And is that what everyone does?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. You think you've acquired the knowledge that you need for what you have researched. A couple hours go by. Everyone feels as though they've well knowledged themselves up as far as knowing things go. I'm going to give you a brief time to role play amongst yourselves as the universe has to go do something.
Okay.
Gotta go slay a dragon.
Did you know there's actually? See, what's with all the thumping up there? Jesus Christ.
Well, you know.
Yeah, they're moving the furniture all right with their minds.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say it's something else, but there's no,
Mm-hmm.
So he's just like looking through this book, and he's like, "Wow, did you know there's higher steel grades than just carbon steel?"
Yes.
Did not.
It makes stainless, galvanized. Pretty cool. Plated with different things.
Maybe I can mix some of that chrome with some mithril or something.
Wonder how that works.
See,
Really stuck on that real expensive stuff.
Hey, Coby, did you know that their average humanoid has 52 milligrams of iron per cc of blood?
yes.
On
Rock Gnomes, it's above that.
What are you, some sort of Frenchman using metric? You standard in this world.
Rock Gnomes have 237% more in their bloodstream. I don't know
that's
why.
fair. Yeah, I can see that.
Just pull out a magnet.
I'm gonna go get a sweater.
Anyone else lightheaded?
Are you
That's
good?
No, actually, the main reason I'm looking at that stuff is because my dream is to be able to make a full set of armor made of mithril adamantium alloy.
I feel you.
I've heard legends that would be able to make it as flexible as mithril, but as hard as adamantium.
Well, that would be something, wouldn't it? Maybe I could help you with some of that if you help me with something else. I'm trying to figure out a way to make items where I can share my gifts with you guys that might make us all more effective hunters.
Effective in what ways?
I want to be able to make something that you guys can use to get past magical darkness? Because I know that,
Ooh.
yeah, I know that enemy casters can really fuck you up if they make the lights go out. And it won't bother me, but it'll really ruin you guys' day.
Wait, you can see through it?
I can.
Coby, like, goes to look at your eyes as best as he can. He's much shorter than
Yeah,
you.
no, you can't have these ones. But,
No, watch. No, I'm not gonna pull them out. I'm just wondering how the heck your ocular nerves are able to function in that way.
She just shrugs. It's like, that's part of what we hope to find out, right?
He goes and tries. Well, since we're running the universe on our own here, he just goes and gets a book on like eyes and that kind of stuff.
It's like, maybe we could find some, I don't know, some devils or something, cut their eyeballs out. And make those.
Devils. Those are just a myth.
She's just going to give you the side eye, like,
I mean,
So,
if we
Hazel, you missed.
if we imagine a devil while we're in the
Will you
dream
please stop that
area,
comment?
we could
Obviously,
rip out
that
its eye.
Yeah.
No.
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 Why would you even want a devil's eye?
You missed the first part of the conversation as you're walking up. We're already in discussion. Hey, Anna wanted to see about working with Coby about making some magical items that might replicate some of her talents, like being able to see in magical darkness.
According to Elaine Meister, Guide to Magic, to create most magic items, you need a component from a magic creature to simulate.
No, see, don't say that shit because now he wants to summon a devil even more.
No, I don't want to summon a
No,
devil.
no, no. We create
So we
one.
need the eye or the aqueous humor of a
Okay.
creature who can see in darkness.
You know what actually
No,
be
I feel
better?
like
You know what'd be better than that? Reptiles can see by body heat. You don't need to
Now,
see
see,
through
that I'm
light
cool
with
with.
that.
No. According to here, people used to be able to see in infravision, and then something happened, and now everyone sees in black and white.
The weird thing is, it only says it in that second edition of those 5 books you have that have the different editions. It's weird.
There's actually 7, but no one counts these 2 editions.
yeah,
Ah,
those are like proto editions. They don't count.
I miss that. I miss that sense, actually. I never got to play with it, but I'm like, come on, why can't, like, lizard men get thermal sense?
Oh, there's also this weird one down here. Ultra vision. You see using ultraviolet light. Useless without stars.
Oh,
That kind of sounds stupid.
Which one is that one from?
First and second edition. It died very quickly because people were like, "Man, that's kind of stupid."
A certain DM does not look at a certain kind of elf he made for a certain kind of Retroverse campaign.
For those wondering, there were 2 editions before first edition of D&D. It was Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, or no,
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons one.
Basic, and then
There's basic, and then there's the original, which is basically its own thing. And basic actually has a bunch of subdivisions, but it's essentially original, basic, first, second, third, fifth.
5.
Yeah.
Fourth, which he doesn't like to admit exists.
that
Though we
doesn't-
did actually buy. Is it down here?
that's upstairs.
We did actually buy our 3rd only, I think, 4th edition book, Elementor's Guide to the Realms.
Which
was
is
it-
edition neutral. It just came out at that time.
Fucking
So-
amazing.
The Demonomicon for 4th edition actually is pretty cool, too. That one's more lore than mechanics.
Yeah, I strongly recommend that one. It's pretty good, and it doesn't have any rules, so you don't have to get mad at
Okay,
480.
so- We have planned to summon a demon. To
A devil.
summon
A devil. There's a very big difference between the two. Definitely a devil.
Yes, very definitely a devil.
So we need a
So-
syringe and some straps.
Okay, so I feel like there are 2 ways that this could go if you do actually summon a devil. Either one, you fuck it up, and it's just it's just some abomination that the eye doesn't work. B, you do it right, and we have to kill a devil.
That's
And
1B.
honestly,
That's
I
one.
think it's just
Not
like,
problem
what
with it
the
at all.
hell were you guys talking about?
Yeah.
You said
Universe is a bit
1B.
confused right now.
1B. What's 1A?
No,
Because
like
you said
one.
1 and then you said B.
No, I fucked up. I was distracted, okay? I just walk into this conversation, you guys are discussing summoning devils.
No. We don't summon them. They don't exist. Where did you summon them from? We create one in the dream realm.
You're gonna see Anna like halfway to opening her mouth, like she might have something to contribute to that point. But
We could imagine, maybe not a devil, mind you. Imagine
Now,
a creature with the sight
There's
of
a
one.
book called Optics. There's apparently an aperture you can make that enhances light into your eyeballs. It's called night vision.
I feel like this library should just be renamed Wikipedia.
Coby also mentioned maybe having like a thermal sense goggles or something because we were discussing trying to find a way of having sight through magical darkness if somebody casts darkness.
yeah, basically, I was looking to craft some devil sight goggles.
There's this creature called a predator. The mask does a lot of things. Maybe we should find one of those.
I don't know. From what I'm reading here, it looks like he'll find you.
Yeah. But if it bleeds, we can kill it. So.
I mean, if we can see it bleed. Looks like it has very good camouflage. At least in the later versions. The earlier versions do that, you can kind of see it.
I mean,
It does look like it has greater invisibility. It will.
Oh wow, yeah.
I wonder if anyone's statted Predator in 5th
Oh, I'm
yet.
sure they have.
Probably.
I'm sure that plasma cannon is like 66 damage.
Actually, they have, and it's canon, and it's a devil.
Of course it is.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that.
Let me pull it up. It's in a certain book.
No, I feel like I've seen somebody did a homebrew version of like it's straight up just the Predator.
Oh yeah, and it's probably like CR 37 or something.
Probably. I don't know. It's not that often that you see him go above like 26.
24. CR 24.
This guy, not the fat one. That one.
Oh, I'm looking at
No,
something else.
that one. He's just
This one is
big.
actually somebody homebrewed to Yautja.
And
AC 19, 362 hit points, speed of 40 feet.
an Orthon. It's the bounty
yeah.
hunter of the Nine Hells.
A O-thong.
Is that what it is? Because it says Orthon. I can never pronounce things right.
Thong.
Anyway, it has an invisible aura. It doesn't even activate invisibility. It just is invisible.
Oh, it's just always on.
Yeah.
If it wants it to
Why
be.
is there- I mean, but there's a picture.
Does it have the thing though where like is it greater invisibility?
I'm not sure,
Or
but I know
when he attacks, does it go away?
it's the only creature in the multiverse that can keep sensing things when they're on a different plane of existence, which is scary on its own.
That's
Impressive.
actually- yeah, very impressive.
Yeah.
Is
What was
that
the name of that novel
Mordekainen's
that
tome
was trying to-
or
Common shit.
This is Mordekainen's, yes.
Okay.
Let me look. It just says invisible.
All right.
Oh, anyway, so yeah,
You had some fun in the library.
Yep.
Did some research, maybe some goofy research, and you feel like you've gotten the knowledge you need to hear from here, and you know a little bit more about the swamp, and you know a little bit more about the desert, and you know a little bit more about some of the things you were privately researching on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess we're heading to the swamp.
Is that a book on lizard folk? Oh my!
Do you think a Clark can survive a swamp, Coby?
Nope.
Do you think we
Cool.
could invent some like balloon tires or something?
You know that it takes a week to get to the swamp with his car.
We could go get horses.
We could get to the swamp, but I am not taking my baby through it.
Well, yeah, but our option is when we get to the swamp to just leave it on the edge of the swamp unattended, along with the mirror.
I got lots.
Backpack.
Oh.
Backpack won't help with that.
No, we don't. I don't know about that. Like,
You stay with the car.
Yeah,
And if
and
somebody
protect
starts
it.
shit, he drives away.
He doesn't have arms.
You what now?
Wait.
Eck looks at his hands. I don't.
Oh, I thought he was like a mannequin with no arms but 4
Nope.
legs or something
Nope.
weird.
No,
I
he's
thought
got-
he just looked like a.
Wait a
android.
minute.
He
For-
looks like
wait,
he looks
what
just
kind
like a
of
mannequin.
mannequins are you familiar with, Scott?
No. I thought he said like it's like a mannequin except this and
No.
that. But
He's
Oh, no.
exactly like a mannequin.
okay.
So yeah,
Well, he's
We
not
need to
designed.
keep it.
He's not designed for combat.
that's why I
Well,
said
he
if someone
drives
starts
away.
shit, he drives away.
Observation. I have watched Coby drive the vehicle several times during intense vehicle operation. I can operate the vehicle at minimal efficiency,
That's all
which
we
would be
need.
enough to evade someone who was possibly chasing.
All we need is for him to hit the gas until it gets bored.
Further inquiry. If it is a concern, I could drive the vehicle in a rather large circular pattern, and you could keep communications.
He's
With
just gonna circle the block.
Yeah. I could keep the vehicle moving in a circular pattern for quite a long period of time, if necessary, and you could communicate to me with this. He opens up his chest cavity and pulls out 4 small handheld devices with a little circle at the bottom and a little circle at the top, and a button on the side.
Coby presses the button. Beep,
Can
beep,
you hear me
beep.
now? Can you hear me now?
Are
It
they
literally
ready?
goes. And when you push the button, and then it sounds like you could talk. And when you say something, you hear it on all 4 of the other devices.
Well, that's handy.
Oh God, feedback.
Yes, do not get them too close when you are talking.
Could
Loud beeping. We don't know why.
could we maybe make it so that they could just go in the ear and not like out loud? Like it's kind of loud. Like what if we're trying to be quiet about it?
I don't think we
Can
have.
Coby use his scrap to do that? He has 4 scrap.
I do believe that is something that could be further improved upon by Coby, but it is not something I am capable of doing.
He's gonna look at Coby with his big old pleading eyes.
Hashke's like just trying to jam a fucking 4-pound radio into his ear.
Coby is just like you hear all of his fingers pop. He's just like, and he goes to work.
Did you
It's
just
right
break
now?
your power armor?
No, he's not.
I'm
wearing
sure
it.
like there's like I'm sure it's like he's just got like something like unfolding like a Swiss Army watch or something, like just tools flopping out of everywhere.
You just did this in your armor instead of popped. So I'm imagining you wearing your armor and you're like, oh.
So do we really have time to figure that out now? Because don't you also need a lab for that, Coby?
You do have a week of driving ahead of you.
Oh, look at that! I'm done. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Don't see
Can
that.
you
He
still
does
just do
have-
that on the road?
I have my entire toolkit right here.
I mean, by all means.
I mean, how else do you think I keep my armor in tip-top shape?
I mean, there's a difference, I was assuming, between keeping it in tip-top shape and making something brand new.
Played
But-
some Mozart?
I mean,
Wait, what's a Mozart? Anyway.
Famous bard, as you recall.
Oh, right.
and as we're going, I'm gonna, because I just picked up last level, I picked up a level of ranger. I will probably be hunting for whatever it is we see on our travels for food.
Mozart's a Kynan? I don't know.
Yeah, that's I like that. Let's do that.
All right. And
No,
you begin your long travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
On the road again. With me and my friends. On the
Hazel,
road
go ahead
again.
and give me 5 survival checks.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. So that's a 24,
Awesome.
a 17,
Awesome.
was cocked. A nat 20, so at 25.
Whoa, this rabbit just jumped into my hands and died. Weird.
I know.
21
Okay.
and 22.
Where'd you get a dire?
I like that dice.
Where'd you get that dire stag from? Holy crap!
At several points during the adventure, you appear to have found an animal that recently died from a heart attack, probably because they saw magic weather, and you just, oh, they're already dead. Great. And you just prepared them up real nice. Those are some of your best checks right there, which led to some very largely amounts of preserved meat. Several times during the adventure, you also happened to just be driving past a massive apple orchard, and oh, look, there's apples, guys. And nobody else noticed at all, and you just found this apple orchard sitting next to the side of the drive where everyone's driving. The lot of you kind of eat well on your way there, and you stop at the edge of the swamp, and you see in the distance what looks to be a collection of large cement slabs that have been overgrown and half dilapidated into the swamp, as if maybe they were a straight path, and now they're just a dilapidated path of stones leading into the swamp. The swamp around these stone paths look quite mucky, marshy, and gross. The mud here is very thick and well, smelly to say the least.
It's really thick.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 C's. Occasionally you see a bubble of like
Oh,
mud kind of like pop up and a stink kind of comes with it.
Pleasant.
not that bad. Yeah,
Smells like
I'd like to make a summer home here.
fetid swamp, and whenever one of those bubbles pops, it seems to bring it. Yeah, kind of like that.
Excuse me.
And
Shout out to Sirenscape
You're a one-stop shop.
Excuse
for
me.
fart jokes.
It must have been the
God, I
apples.
hate that soundtrack
It's
so
gas
much.
releasing from putrid, mucky
Sewers.
poop. So
well, the smell's the same anyway. And you park the car, and you get out the gear car. You park it there and kind of radio backpack to keep a circle going, so he's not staying in one place.
Like think we got like the World War II backpack radio things where you gotta like crank it and then.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he has. Yeah,
We have just the little receivers.
yeah, the receiver version that
will
can communicate back with him.
Will you run out of gas if he just keeps going?
You know that if he spends a lot, the car itself actually has to rest and or recharge, as the diesel reserves need to recharge themselves. Because the diesel on this particular world, is refined magic energy. So it just takes time to refine the energy in the diesel parts of the car from magic around you to form the diesel fuel they need. So the car itself actually rests when you rest, so that it needs to recharge. So you've rested. It's got a full tank. He can go for a day.
Cool.
I'll say if you don't hear from us in 2 days, then maybe head back to town. What do you think? Okay, no one's disagreeing with me, so that's what we're going with.
Yeah, no, I just going along with it.
Be careful. The swamp was inhabited by several of Einrich's labs. No one knows what's there.
Oh,
We
great. I was
will
just gonna
attempt it,
ask.
yeah.
Hopefully
We
not
didn't happen to run
giants.
across any like books about Heinrich's studies in the swamp while we were there, did we?
All books involving any of Einrich's studies are locked under lock and key.
Oh,
Hopefully you don't encounter giant snakes or any weird gigantic humanoids with numbers on their foreheads.
oh, for fuck's sakes!
Heard stories of those. Okay.
All right.
In the swamp, a long trail leads further and further deep into the swamp, well beyond that which you think the car could reach, into a very sinister-looking lab of sorts. It looks well abandoned and overgrown with many different vines, and there appears to be a lot of snakes and serpents around this lab, some of which the tiny snakes have little hands. 2 little front hands that they're using to move themselves along.
Coby tries to make one clap.
They all apparently know how to clap.
Okay, cool.
This is amazing.
How do they clap again?
They go,
That's kind of adorable.
with the tiniest of claps.
No.
You know that one of the Slayer's founding members nicknamed these particular snakes Sneck, and they all know how to clap.
That is adorable.
Coby does his best to avoid the swamp water as much as possible. Or at least being
Anna
the most
kind
shallow.
of wants to make one a pet.
They appear to be very friendly to humans.
Oh,
How is there like a tree cover amount of foliage in the swamp?
Yeah. Think Louisiana Bayou. Now, instead of water, make it mud.
ooh.
Okay. Would it be possible for me to climb a tree and see if I could get like I'm gonna
Yeah.
look and see if I see any structures above the tree line.
Well, the one that's in front of you, but you're not sure of too many more. But you
Oh.
could climb up and look. Give me a athletics. Yeah, athletics.
Oh, cool. I'm not super great at that.
Ooh.
Yeah, 12.
I am
I
not.
think maybe
super
this is
into
why
that.
Batman has a grappling hook. But you do manage to climb the tree. You look around and you see, from your particular location, 11 buildings. that look exactly the same as
Okay.
the one in front of you.
All right, so I guess we're going to the first one because I see more, but they all look identical to this one. So I guess we should just start here and
One is very much as good as another, huh?
yeah.
Okay. Well, we begin.
All right, and some of the larger snakes you see inside this building kind of look like people. A little bit,
Toilet greens are people.
What do you,
little bit look like people.
What do you mean by that? Like, do they have arms
Yeah.
and legs?
They got arms
Are they sentient?
and they got a face that kind of looks serpenty and human-y.
Oh.
Second.
I'm gonna try to talk to one. Say hi.
You're kind of like, hi, and it's like,
Oh. Sorry. She's just gonna turn around and
Kind of like this.
party. It's like, what?
kind of, but without the sword or the backpack
Okay. Just make
or
sure.
the armor.
Just make it sure.
And they're not as big as you. They're as big as Coby.
Oh. Okay.
Do we think that these creatures are like completely these aren't so we know lizard folk are in this area, right?
Yep.
Do we think that maybe he did experiments on these guys and these are lizard folk that have been corrupted, or do you think we think there's something else?
You think these are Einrich experiments.
Okay.
Do they
You're
look
not sure
hostile?
what they used to be or should have been, but you know that they're all Einrich experiments. None of them look hostile yet.
I'm sorry, it's been quite a while. Why were we here again? Kobe would know. I don't remember.
You
after
are
3 weeks.
here to retrieve Einrich's audio logs because somebody stole them from the museum, and that's a very scary and terrible thing.
Okay.
Oh. Okay,
Kobe's,
so there's probably something scary and terrible in here that's got the logs.
There could be, or somebody scary and terrible stole them and put them here.
Kobe starts his search.
Okay.
I
The
will-
lab itself is thoroughly infested with snakes, but they don't really appear to be hostile. As you attempted to contact them, they kind of like shy you away from parts of the lab where they have lots of eggs. They're like, kind of like, try to make, like, they can't push you away, but they try to like, go away.
They
Not
try to
over here.
defend.
They appear to like slither around it and kind of like shoo you away.
Kobe's trying to like look up and see if he sees some like random audio log just half lodged into goop in an egg nest.
Nope.
Okay.
Just a bunch of eggs.
I rolled an 18 on an investigation check.
All right. Everyone else can give me one as well.
I only got 15.
Okay.
Investigation is
17.
21.
All right. It takes about an hour, but after searching through the building, Hashke is the first to notice a table that seems out of place.
They was out of place.
Okay.
Kobe puts a rock underneath one of the feet. There we go.
Better.
After he made the table level, you realize that the table itself is covered in what appeared to be scrap paper, and it also contains 7 large reels inside boxes, cases. You think these might be Einrich's audio logs. And it looks as though someone has a device here that can play them, and they've been listening to them. And the table itself is scrawled in a bunch of weird notes and writings, as if someone maybe had like crumpled up paper, tried to write down notes, and they maybe condensed their notes into a main notebook of some kind that's not here.
Well,
Okay.
okay. Have we secured the building against intruders? Like determined there's nobody
Oh,
outside?
yeah, we should do that first.
You search the rest of the building, and the only intruders you find here are you and the snake people who appear to have made it their house.
Okay. Does
I'm
the
gonna
power
start.
work?
Kobe takes all the notes.
Add
I'm gonna
1
start
pound of
putting
notes to your paperwork, your character sheet.
Tapes in the bag. Should we really be reading those?
Oh, he's not reading them. He just picks them up and puts them in the bag.
Well, no, that's what she's asking because I don't know why else you'd be putting them in your pocket. I'm like, I would say that we should put them with the tapes and I don't know, just put them back in the museum or burn them.
Is there power in
I
this
mean,
place? Like, is it working in here, or is it? all-
It's sparking on and off occasionally. It doesn't.
Because, like, Heinrich did some nasty stuff, and I was under the impression that you definitely didn't want to listen to his stuff. So I'm guessing if these people were listening to his stuff and writing stuff down, maybe won't be the most pleasant bedtime reading.
Well,
I
the
was
most
just
powerful
thinking, can we maybe
tool,
listen to what he was listening to most recently and try and figure out where his research was taking him.
the most powerful tool we have is knowledge. If we don't know what we're fighting, then we're going in blind.
You
I
do
would have-
see one of Einrich's logs still plugged into the audio playing device.
Yay! Is there a very clearly marked play button because she doesn't probably know how to work one of these?
Nope,
Kobe presses.
nothing is clearly marked anywhere.
Does
Kobe, help!
Can Kobe help?
Coby needs to give me an intelligence save.
Oh no, I'm bad at those. Nat 20.
Okay. Your incredible pulsating brain dictates this must be the play button. And you're like, Heinrich's
It's so
log.
useful.
It was several days ago I encountered something that was rather interesting. A species of serpent native to these swamps has been rather friendly. Something I did not expect from a snake, a predator that is designed to kill smaller rodents. I could at least appreciate that it is somewhat friendly. I do think that this is a natural establishment. Perhaps some of the latent Trexan blood that had filled the swamp was changed this snake in some way. I will have to gather them and see if I can experiment upon them. Heinrich's log. It appears as though the snake I found is quite friendly indeed and does contain Trexan blood, although in such a small amount it's not useful to me. I'll bring some of the test subjects to the lab and begin running tests. After all, no one will miss them. Heinrich's log. The test subjects have altered and mutated terribly. 43 of them died in the first part of the experiment. Small eggs to break, I suppose. Nothing like the other ones. Still, I think this experiment will be entirely more successful than the ogre experiment that did kill 100,000 people.
At this
Heinrich's
point,
log. I do think that this experiment is going rather well. Only 1,000 people have died, and I've gotten a successful experiment. This connection between these two bloods and the catalyst has obviously been successful. I think I may be able to bring these Trexan back. Excellent. I need their purified blood for my experiment. My perfect catalyst needs their blood.
ugh.
And the log keeps going. Do you continue to listen?
Click. He pauses it. Do we want to keep listening to it?
I think we should probably take this back to somebody who can spin.
Oh, we definitely
'Cause
we
I'm-
definitely need to take it back.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, yeah. It goes without saying.
I mean, he's
I
not-
don't
Personally-
want to because I know that there's a lot of stuff that was taken from that museum. A lot of stuff in that museum that you don't even want to look at, let alone listen to or touch or interact with. But I do wonder if we should figure out what it was he did to the retractions after he revived them.
Click.
I have perfected my syringe. The ability to drain large amounts of blood from different experiments will be quite useful in the future. I think I may also be able to use this to combine different bloods together for my perfect catalyst. It is only a matter of time. The ratios I will post forthwith, so that any further person could follow forth in my footsteps. In the case of these small happy serpents, I need 1/25 of their blood. I need 1 part blood from the blood dimension. I need 2 parts human blood. I need 3 parts blood from a barn owl. And I need 2 parts blood from another serpent in the swamp, a small lizard. They are brightly orange in color and have black spots on them. Combine this together with the right centrifuge, and you should be capable of bringing back the Retrexin from any human injected with the substance. The initial test subject will, of course, die horribly, but the resulting birth of the Retrexin from their remains will be a small price to pay.
So he didn't really resurrect this race so much as just transmute humans into. Well, that takes a little bit of the shine off of the achievement, doesn't it?
Click. He pauses it again.
You don't need to pause it. That was the end of the tape.
Oh, okay. As he's unreeling the tape and putting it back in its case and stuff for us to take, he says, it sounds like he was trying to reverse engineer some kind of ancient race that apparently these snakes came from. They apparently had part of the blood of these Rantrexen, trying to make this race again. And I'm assuming he succeeded, because I'm assuming his perfect catalyst is what he is now, or he can't take any damage.
It sounded like that he just listed off a recipe for how to make a Retrexen.
Yes, and if we can do that, maybe we could reverse that on him. Make like an anti-perfect serum.
Well, that's the thing. What the formula he just gave wasn't the formula that made him. It was what made the Retrexens.
Well, this is definitely multiple steps. It's not
It
just
does sound like
peanut butter and jelly and makes a sandwich.
we need to look for a lab. Someone is listening specifically to this, and it has a recipe for how to make something alchemical. Whoever this person is that took these tapes, they're going to be doing experiments. There's going to be a lab somewhere.
And there's going to be disappearances too.
I mean, isn't that what all these buildings are here?
Yeah, but we need to find which one actually is in use. I didn't see any lab equipment here. It looks like this was just where he was taking notes.
All right. Well, let's go to the next one then.
Yeah. Should we cart the stuff back to... I mean, no, the guy was here already.
I'm going to ask, just to have it out there, I'm gonna ask Coby to rewind that a little bit, and she is going to jot down the recipe for the blood, the catalyst, in her journal, just so we have it on hand in case we need that information later.
Okay. You have Einrich's information on how to make a Retrexen that kills the host.
All right. Can we post that in like Twitter or something?
Well, I don't think. Do we really need the details, meta-wise?
I mean, as long as I'll just write it. I'll write it in my treasure notes that I've got recipe for Retrexen.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just put that.
Just know that it takes 4 parts.
All right, Coby has that all packed up, keeps it in a nice straight case, and I guess we move to the next spot.
Yeah, I'll point us toward the next building that I saw.
You move out of this building, and several small cement slabs, half submerged in mud. Later, you get to another building. This building does not appear to have any serpents in it at all. In fact, it's completely devoid of all forms of life, including plant life.
While we're leaving, Coby is going to go up to the tallest of these snacks, and he's going to put a hand up. He's going to try to make it high five.
It looks at your hand and turns its head sideways.
Oh.
And then goes.
Coby
puts its hand on your hand.
Coby makes it a high five.
That is kind of adorable.
And then holds up his hand to another snack, and the other snack goes.
Oh my god.
They're so cute.
This may or may not have been my favorite pet that wasn't my character's last campaign.
Anna really wants to keep one of these and bring it home with her.
They're kind of
The other
gross,
snack
though.
people kind of like turn their head sideways as they watch all of this happen, and then they all begin high-fiving each other.
Oh my god, that's adorable.
Oh.
Coby's doing a little gnome laugh.
Contamination is incalculable, but adorable. Okay.
Right. And then you make your way out and over to the other lab. In the center of this other lab, there is several large vats of weird, light red, glowing liquid, and it smells of blood.
Yeah.
This whole lab reeks of the smell of blood. It is so much so it's to the point where you're like, oh, like it's in my stomach.
Does it look congealed? Like,
No.
does it look as it's fresh? Okay,
It looks like it's like just this weird, glowing red blood liquid.
I look to the other. Somebody's here. We need to fan out and find them. Or somebody was here recently.
This lab equipment in here all looks recently used. one of which you see is the most prominently identifiable, a very, very, very odd plan drawn out like a blueprint on a piece of paper.
Of course,
how intricate
Coby's.
is the plan?
Coby looks at it and goes, and he thinks he knows how to make it, but it's a question as to whether or not he will.
What
Oh.
is
This
it?
looks like a fairly devious device indeed. Part of the end of it opens up to 5 separate flaps. Each flap contains a syringe, and there's a rather large syringe in the middle. It looks as though this is designed for advanced blood taking from someone, and partially could inject blood or whatever it takes out of someone into someone else.
It
Coby's
is a
disturbed
rapid
by it.
exsanguination device.
Yes.
Coby's disturbed by it, but he does take it.
It looks as though it's a long, like, tube-like, like octagonal structure. There's a big button at the end that opens it, that the syringe would open up from. And it looks as though if you twist the end of it and then push the button, it can extract blood. But if you just push the button, it injects stuff into people.
The main reason he's going to keep it is probably just to try to find a weakness to it in case, somehow he got in a situation where it's used against him.
The foliage in this area, it doesn't look familiar to those books with leaf covers that we've seen, does it?
Nope.
Okay, because it occurs to me, guys, that this is the second instance we've seen of humans being transformed into something else, something monstrous.
Seems to be a very popular pastime around here. Y'all get down to some crazy shit.
I wonder if all of this, if they're all working from Heinrich's stuff.
Oh, most likely.
Those books that we found.
I mean,
Wait, was Heinrich Elvish?
I didn't think
According
so.
to legend, Heinrich Venrick was an exiled elf.
Oh, he was. Oh shit. Okay, yeah. Then that.
Elves on this world are immortal. They actually live forever.
which would also perhaps explain why he was so hard to put down.
So they're
during
like
the fight.
they're like the Lord of
Oh,
the
no,
Rings
we
ones.
know why he's so hard to put down during the fight, because he made himself into some like undying monster god thing.
Right, but I'm
Turned
just saying
himself
I thought
into
he may have augmented his elvish immortality to get there.
Because they can
Those
still
are
die. but they
immortal,
live.
not like unmurderable. I feel like
Right.
it's more a thing with the whole immurderable thing.
Elves don't die from age. I should specifically state.
Okay, there. Now, all right.
They die,
it's
just
not,
not from age.
Yeah,
they're not deathless.
so they're
Yes.
like Tolkien elves.
Yeah,
Then.
yeah.
They go to the west.
They just live. Undyingly so.
Yeah, so let's look around the rest of this place, see if we see any signs of life elsewhere.
Coby has his new.
Did you just say elfware?
I might have flubbed it, but I meant elsewhere.
No, let's keep elfware. That was funny.
Coby, since I forgot to level up last session, I wrote this down real quick when I leveled up. He pulls out his new longsword that is a silvered blade.
Ooh, tiny. Anna's gonna look at it appreciatively.
For
Like
him,
a nice
for
blade.
his size, it almost looks like a thin greatsword.
Cool.
Because it's a long sword, but he's a gnome.
Right, exactly. So Anna's going to be looking at like just the eddies and the flow. Does it look like something passed through here recently that was
It's
very
it's
powerful?
really difficult to tell. Whatever this glowing red stuff is, it is really fucking with the flow in this area.
Oh yeah.
Everything
Okay.
looks all wibbly wobbly and
Ew.
strange.
Or
You don't
can
think you think that's why all life has evacuated this building?
Probably.
I'm just going around to every room to see if we see anything.
Yeah. I'll go with
There's
her.
a room that looks like it can manufacture glassware, and there's another room that looks as though it can manufacture that glassware into a syringe. And there's another room that the one that can manufacture syringes looks like there's 8 syringes in the room that are already manufactured. And they're not like the ones we use today, where they're like small and they have 2 spots for your finger and a rather large part, like circle your thumb fits into, like a ring. And it's used like that kind of device, like the really
So-
old-fashioned ones you see.
Basically a rapier that can also draw up the blood.
Yeah.
Oh,
Looking at these devices, do I think one person can operate these things, or would it take a crew?
Nope. You think all of this could be done by one person
Okay.
easily. A crew of people would make it more efficient, but
Yeah.
judging from the very minimal amount of supplies you see everywhere, one person was probably all that was operating this.
I'm trying to envision this. Could I theoretically take one of these and like reproduce it as a packed weapon? Would it count
syringe?
as a weapon if I were to wield it?
No, you're pretty sure these syringes are only capable of dealing a single point of damage, but they're capable of injecting someone with gods know what.
I was going to say that she was talking about like it was the size of a rapier. I was thinking,
Oh, no,
the
it-
length
No,
of
I
it
was-
is
I was
long.
talking about the blade, the width of the blade.
The width of the needle part is that long.
okay. Oh, okay. All right.
You think if you were
Probably stiletto would have probably been more appropriate.
Yeah,
Perhaps,
yeah, stiletto. You think if you were a pixie, it would make a good lance. Otherwise,
Nice.
if you're not a pixie, it's probably not
Okay.
going to be useful.
Then disregard all of that because that's not at all what I was picturing. I
Yeah.
thought I was imagining like
No.
like a syringe with like a plunger.
No.
Like that long.
It has two rings on either side of a large glass tube.
Right. No, I'm
your
with you
fingers
now.
go in there, and that's the syringe part, and then the needle's like that long.
Are they full or empty?
All of them that are manufactured in this room, all 5 of them are empty.
Okay.
Coby takes
Looking
them
around this
if no one
place,
else
if I
does.
don't see any. Sorry, go ahead.
Coby takes them if no one else does.
Oh yeah.
They're not filled with wild concoctions right now, and they're syringes, so those could be worth it.
No, I mean, it could be useful.
Yeah.
If I don't see any people or any signs of a threat, I'm going to go around the entire area again, looking for clues, looking for where somebody might have gone elsewhere, any kind of like, I don't know, dropped notes or something.
Out the back door, you find 12 dead bodies piled in the mud.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Oh,
They look
boy.
recently dead, and they look as though all their blood has been sucked out of their body.
Oh,
Are they
gross.
human?
Maybe. Hard to tell at this point. They're covered in mud and rot, and they're
Real?
dehydrated completely of all of their bodily fluid.
So they're kind of mummified, kind of.
Partially, yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, the mosquitoes in the swamp are murder.
I don't think it was mosquitoes. It's
That's the
Coby's.
joke, hon.
Oh, sorry.
She's gonna pat you on your little head. Clang clang.
You
I
probably-
check their ears to see if they're elves.
2 of them are.
Huh.
2 of them are.
Okay.
The rest appear human.
Okay. And then if do they have any belongings on them? Do they have any clothing or they're just butt naked and dead?
Underwear.
Okay. I wish we had some way to identify who these are to their families, but I don't see any way of telling, and I don't know that anybody would recognize them in this state.
we can
I'm sure they wouldn't.
let somebody know when we get back to the Slayers headquarters that there's bodies out here that need identifying. Send a morgue
That's
team.
true.
By the time anyone got out here, they'd probably be long past decomposed.
Well, I mean, there's
mean-
dental records and things, right?
I mean, I can't even, like, he's just using, like, his longsword to lift the head up. I can't even see with their faces.
Dental records. It's just teeth.
Well, I mean, they still had dental impressions around the start of this.
I don't know that everyone did.
Unless you're
I
a
would
registered
imagine that
member of the Empire, not too many of the other empires do that.
Yeah, I would imagine the only people who have dental impressions are the people who can afford a dentist,
Hey,
which I know for sure as shit isn't Hazel.
And you're pretty sure it's not these poor degraded souls that are emaciated in the swamp.
Okay.
Yeah.
wow, this one's
I know.
canines are pretty big. And then it just jumps in, it gets my throat and kills me.
Nope.
I joke. Okay.
Um,
Coby goes to look for a basement, probably where the lab would be.
You don't
I
see
thought
one.
I thought we had found the lab. The lab was where all of the blood buckets were.
The two giant vats of glowing red blood liquid.
Oh. Can I
You
use...
don't
can I-
know for certain, but you're pretty sure that history check everyone but Anna. Sorry, Anna. Seems to be a trend.
That's what I get for not being from around here.
16?
So I know you said 16. It sounded like 60, like 60.
It did kind of sound like 60.
Yeah, 60. Minus 44.
16, got it. What'd you
I
get,
got a 3.
Hashke?
15.
And a 3. Okay. Hazel, you're not sure. This stuff looks gross. Coby and Hashke, you both identify this blood as being blood from the blood dimension. The very dimension that Heinrich opened a permanent portal for on Hashke's people's home island that they evacuated many years ago, after he did so.
Wow.
What do we know of this blood that makes it special besides being
It
planar?
never coagulates or congeals in any way, and it flows like water, but it is most definitely blood.
Coby looks around. It's one of the syringes. Whoop.
So it's a little hard to tell
You
from
now
the
have a strange concoction of blood dimension blood in a syringe.
For the
So
labs
it's-
Write
later.
that down.
For the labs later.
So it's blood that just doesn't go bad.
Yeah.
And
Always
every
fresh.
other way, it's normal blood.
isn't
Yep.
it?
Wow. That
Do
would
we-
like revolutionize blood transfer on our planet so much.
Yeah.
We won't have to worry about storage. Dang,
Yeah.
he did everyone a
The
favor in
sanguinary,
about
like,
This might
60,
help.
70 years when we discover the hemoglobin, not hemoglobins, the
Hemoglobins?
RH factors and stuff.
This
I
might
mean,
this might help the sanguine, or it might have been what caused them.
there's
Man,
also the chance
My
that there's
people should go
something-
back and start mining this stuff and like make money off it.
What do you think I
You
was
think
doing?
someone could?
What do you think I was trying to do with the the dream dimension?
So since you guys say this stuff won't ever coagulate, we don't know how long it's been here. I want to look around and see if I can determine how long this guy was here. Because I know from the bodies, I won't be able to tell because they're so desiccated, but maybe there are footprints in the mud outside that aren't ours.
Investigation.
I'm going to point out, you should still be able to tell if you know the rate of decay in a swamp. You can still give approximates for how long they've been in.
Yeah,
because
but if they've
you
been
just know
completely
less.
drained of their blood, I don't know that she's ever really encountered somebody that's been drained of their blood and left to die for a
You
week.
can tell
I
by
was going
the
to say is how common are sanguinary murders where they've actually like exsanguinated somebody. Does that
That's
ever
why
happen?
she's making an investigation check.
Well, I didn't roll great. I got an 11.
Kobe helps.
Can I assist?
Yeah, with
Roll
a
an advantage.
Oh,
19.
thank Christ.
Oh, no.
Watch, I'm going to roll a 2. Okay,
also-
that's much better. That's a 17.
All right. With the assistance from both of your friends, you look around and kind of see, and then they point out some things that kind of give you clues. These people look as though they were fully drained of their blood. Has to have been a few weeks ago. So this must be as recent as one could for the trip out here. But you didn't see any other tracks.
Yeah, so
Whoever got out here by other means.
Maybe they teleported.
they were swinging
Or they flew.
Yeah,
Rakyat
by a Zeppelin. Maybe.
monkeys. They're monkeys. Vampire monkeys.
Or they're monkeys.
Vampire monkeys. That's what I'm going with.
So do you think it was actually one of the Sanguinari, Coby?
I mean, it's looking more like it. I mean, I'm not one. I don't really study them. I just know they are connected with blood.
That's the thing. Like, I thought, what do we know about the Sanguinari? We know they.
You
Drink
know
blood?
that they are ruled over by, in this particular world, they are ruled over by a prince known as Prince Gregor. The very Prince Gregor who you have the signet ring of that Endopoulos had on his body.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh, I forgot that detail.
I didn't.
Brain blast.
Okay, so
But
your
they are
theory
normally
that-
ruled over by this ruler.
And apparently they don't take fall damage. You said.
They don't take any fall damage.
Yeah.
But you do know that they have a king. The king lives in the blood dimension with the rest of his peoples. And he is King Vlastosphere.
Okay, so looks like your theory's holding a bit more water.
I'm not. Good thing I have filtration in this.
No, you don't.
You're disgusting. Should we check the other labs? Just to
Yellow?
be sure.
Oh.
No,
You
the
don't
other
see-
labs.
You don't see any other labs immediately nearby that are connected by stone bridges. You would have to go through the muddy swamp to get
I mean, I'm willing to do it. I don't know about you guys.
Mm, I don't
I've
know.
stomped through grosser things.
Okay.
How deep is this mud? Is it going to be a pain for Coby to actually navigate, or
I
is
mean,
it just like,
You've not really gone out into the deep of it and checked. The mud around the outside of this building is not as deep as the rest
To
of the
be
swamp.
fair, Kobe's wearing full plate, and it's diesel punk additions to it, so it's even heavier than normal full plate, I'd like to think.
well, there's heavy, and then there's the fact that, like, if it's up to your knees, all right, well, it'll be a little tiring. If it's, I'd say above waist high, then let's not even fucking bother, because you won't be any helpful at all. No offense if we run into anything.
Yeah. Kobe's 3'6". I like to think he's maybe like 3'10" with the armor on, maybe.
Yeah.
As Coby
So
kind of checks it and walks around to look, you realize very quickly before Coby even gets out into it, Hazel, that he's not going to be very much of a use out there. This swamp mud comes up to 3 feet. It's almost over Koby's head.
Oh, I don't think any of us could really navigate that sufficiently.
We can build
Think
something.
Louisiana Bayou. Now think mud instead of one.
I get a note to self: make swamp-proof aquatic adaptable suit.
Couldn't you just build stilts?
Also, note to self: add stilts to suit.
Because, like, we could use that right now.
Are there trees?
Note to
That's
self:
what I was thinking,
have
wondering if we should try and go through the
collapsible
trees.
stilts to bring for travel.
I might try that and just go check the next
There
building
is
over.
a perception check involved with that.
For what? To
Look at the swamp to see if there's trees that lead to another building. Both Hashke and Hazel
Oh,
can give me one.
Okay.
I was going to say a check to see if there's a tree.
No. If there's a path of trees.
14.
Perception is 17.
Okay.
Damn.
Hazel, you don't notice one, but Hashke does notice a path of tree roots that kind of, if one were to carefully climb along them, could get to another one of the labs without falling into the mud.
Yeah.
But you
You
do
wanna
know
try
that
that?
if one fails their climb check, they're ending up in 3 feet of mud.
My one weakness.
I'm not really that worried about it.
Well, yeah, you don't have to worry about breathing. Mud.
I still need to worry about breathing.
Oh, mud specifically. I'm saying I'm short,
I'm not.
alright?
No, I know. I'm saying you stay here. We're just gonna go check the next one over. Hashke, you want to come?
Sure.
I'm gonna start climbing to the next building.
All right, give me a athletics check.
Ugh, please don't fuck me, dice. That's a nat 20.
All right,
So 21.
you swing through the trees like a monkey. Hashke,
And he face plants.
Can't remember what strength was.
Oh my god.
You said
You have it
athletics
written
or
down.
acrobatics?
Athletics. Yeah, same.
That's only 11.
okay. DC to climb a tree is 5, so you don't fail. You get across the tree path and you get to the other area over there where you can get into a lab, and you swing into an open lab window that looks broken. This lab looks very old. It does not look like many people have been in this lab at all in recent times. It's very old. There's a lot of aged equipment here. You see in this lab approximately 17 large vats that a human could fit into, each of which appears to be broken, some of which contain the dead remains of a human. A human whose skeleton looks severely warped and mutated, and very painfully so. Outside the back of this lab, you see a literal pile of bones. A small hill of dead bodies, all of which look very long dead. There's probably thousands of bodies here.
Dead bodies everywhere.
There's a pile of just a trail of bones leading out to it, and then just a mountain of bones piled up in the mud.
Okay. Yeah, if we don't see anything useful, I'm gonna look around and see if I can see anything that Himrick might have left over, because I'm assuming this is his work, not this new fellow. Anything useful that the museum might be interested in.
You do. You find an audio log sealed in a case.
I'm gonna attempt to take that with us. I don't know how big it is.
You can take it with you. It weighs 3
Okay.
pounds.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll bring that with us and head
Okay.
back over.
You bring it out, put it in your backpack, and kind of monkey back over you and Hashke, and you get back to the other lab that everyone else is at.
So it is uninhabited, however, not empty. It looks like it hasn't been used in a long time, but Hemrick did a lot of those experiments where he killed over 1,000 people. They were probably here. There is a lot of bones back there. I imagine the further room we go, the more of that we're going to find. I did, however, find another audio log that might be useful. I don't think this is one of the ones I'm missing. I think this is a new one.
Yeah, this one you had to scrape roots off of.
Kind of don't want to, but I also kind of wonder what it says.
Do we want to go back to the listening room in the lab and crank this one up?
You know that the listening device in the lab is portable.
Do you think Coby would have took it?
It runs on a Voltium device. It can very easily be carried around. It only weighs 10 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Coby,
So
Coby takes it.
it's just a big tape deck, really.
Yeah,
Okay.
He has it on his shoulder like a boombox and just puts
it's
it in.
primitive tapes. These tapes are like almost like a VHS tape, but bigger, and they're more metal instead of plastic, because plastic's not a thing.
I'm just imagining cinema reels.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what they are. Big circular cinema reel kind of things. And you
Mhm.
load them in at the top and close the lid down and hit
Yeah, I got
the
it.
play.
I feel this.
Okay, we play it.
Yeah,
Okay.
can we like walk and talk and run while we're going back to the car?
As you make your way back and out of the swamp, break out my Heinrich voice. Heinrich's log. It appears as though the experiment has gone beyond successful. I'm quite happy that this has gone as well as it has. I'll use this lab as a means of bringing back any I find can stand the serum. The retraction formula previously talked about in my last log definitely is perfected. And it's a matter of finding people who don't just die immediately or mutate horribly from it. It's amazing how many people are willing to throw someone away because they're a single crime. No matter. The asylum was the best thing I ever created, and it was only a matter of time before I had everything I needed to do this. Now that the Retrexen are successfully brought back, as are the ogres, I am quite capable of, I think, moving on to the next stage of my plan. The Victorlock People's home island, so close to the blood portal, will be a perfect place to bring back the lycanthropes. Werewolves, I believe their name was. Yes, I'll bring back them. They were long extinct ages ago. I'll need their blood for my perfect catalyst next. And so close to the asylum, too. Yes, that'll be easier to ship people there for the experiments.
Maybe
Heinrich's log. This lab will be abandoned soon, as some of the other ones will. I'll leave these half-failed experiments to do whatever they wish. Maybe they'll be a useful species one day. Perhaps a nice pet. Who knows? I'm not sure what will come of them. Some of them apparently have begun experimenting with venom. I'll leave them to have that lab for themselves.
Hey.
I'm not going to play with any of the rest of this. In any case, I'm done with this lab. Everything appears to have been exactly as I left it.
Okay.
Man, did I fight Bane?
Wait a minute. Exactly as he left it. He left and came back?
Ooh. This audio log appears shorter than some of the other ones. It's not
Okay.
effective.
Well, we have
Shit.
probably quite a lot of time to be getting on with these experiments. I mean, would it be reasonable to assume that perhaps every time he comes back out here, he has to end up building like a new lab because the old one got overgrown, or what?
That's the thing.
He
This was overgrown.
mentioned a blood portal.
Mhm.
How long has he been doing this?
I think this is where
Oh, this.
when we saw him, you said he looked sort of like a werewolf back from wherever you're from.
Hmm.
I think this is where he became that.
Do we
That
know
sounds
what werewolves are?
You've heard stories of them. You've seen pictures of them. Beyond that, no.
Okay.
You know,
This is-
silver is definitely not their jam. They hate silver. Silver is how you kill them.
Also,
Hashke,
I
as a matter of
really
fact,
worry.
Hashke has a tale of his people that talk about silver weapons being useful against werewolves.
Also, I really worry that the cute little lizard folks with hands maybe weren't always lizards.
Oh.
Well, this guy named Darwin did speculate that things evolve from other things.
Ah, he's wrong with all of his not flat Earth theories.
We know the world's not flat. It's hollow. We know it.
I
It's
will
like a donut.
stab you.
Turtles all the way down.
Oh, what's this? Coby's intelligence is going down rapidly. Weird.
I guess we're done here, though I do think the Slayers need to definitely come here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get someone to back clean up.
I think we should try to. Hopefully, it's
wondering-
not still open, but because these labs, like, how old do these labs look? They look like they've been binned for like a century, or like.
Well over that.
Well, the
Hundreds
one
of
looks like it had been, like the one that we first ran into with the blood and everything, that looked relatively recent, right?
Well,
or
I-
used
The
recently.
inside looked like it was recently used. The outside still looked hundreds of years old.
Okay. The third place that we went to where we found the last tape, the new one, that place looked like it hadn't seen any use in a long time, right?
Correct. Hundreds of
Okay,
years.
so that's an
perhaps.
older one.
If they're still opening to this the dimension of blood, we should probably be investigating that, right? Maybe talk to the Sanguine if we can.
The thing is, though, if you don't trust the Sanguine, I worry that we shouldn't. However,
I mean, not all of them are
Husky,
evil.
Your people, the Victog, they know something of this, right? Maybe they have an idea of where it was.
Your
What-
people know exactly
Portal
where the
what?
blood portal is. It's on their
Yeah.
home island.
We know right
Oh,
where it is.
okay.
They ran
I've
from
never
it.
actually been.
I went on
learned the
vacation
language,
there. It was a pleasant place. Very red.
but I do wonder though if we should go to the desert first and see what we see there.
You do know the missing
So-
artifacts that were taken to the desert area were the mask of the Iron Mask Bandit and the cursed boot.
Do we remember what the cursed boot did?
Yep,
Oh,
it
cursed-
doesn't come off.
Mhm.
Oh,
It,
That's
gives
Okay.
you, it gives you disadvantage on stealth checks.
Fuck that
why the
boot.
hell would you steal that?
No one
Get a
knows.
kick out of it.
I don't know. Maybe you're just a Goliath who just wants to steal things and then try it on, figure out what
Who
happens.
knows?
You're like, oh hey, yeah, I mean, you got to be fair. You find a boot and you're like, oh, it's magical. I wonder what it does.
Yeah, the only
The thing
disadvantage is this boot came with a sign that was written by the very Goliath that originally found it that said it was cursed. And you shouldn't take it because it doesn't come off.
It was signed by him, and we saw his stuff. He's a legendary slayer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bone Fist.
Bone
He tells
Fist.
you.
The Goliath monk bone fist.
I have his name written down next to it.
Yep.
So the thing I worry about with I don't want to say that it is the Sanguine. I don't say that none of them are trustworthy. It occurs to me though that these were stolen from a place where only slayers are allowed. The best person who would have stolen it would be easiest for a slayer to steal this stuff.
You're saying
Walk
there's a,
right in.
you're saying there's a coup?
A mole?
I'm saying if there was somebody that was interested in this, it might have been an inside job.
A weremole.
My people have known about those.
You guys know Kobe's just joking. But he's like, Yeah. So do we know the name of that one sanguine that we saw? That was
I
in
don't
the
think we
Slayers?
do. I went and looked back at my notes, and I don't have a name written down for him.
Nope.
This is the same
You
one that
know
helped
that-
out.
Yeah, you know that he has
Game.
studied the magic and other experimentation done by the ancient founding Slayer member. You've seen that method of like fighting done before, where he's a wizard when he's kind of skinny. When he's not kind of skinny, he can hulk out to a big fighting machine when he needs to.
Oh, okay. He's one of those. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, so like I said, it occurs. I kind of feel like we should keep it on the down low for a while until we know more. I do say we should probably tell them that, hey, we found this, and maybe have somebody come and give these people a proper burial.
They're going to
But,
be expecting their artifacts, though.
That's true. It could just continue on.
Wasn't that Vlastrosphere character, wasn't he a Slayer at one point? Is he still one?
You don't know much about the legendary King Blastosphere.
Okay.
He is the king of the Sanguinare people, and he lives in the blood dimension. You know that. He was once on this world ages ago. He walked it for a while. He was the first Sanguinare to set foot on this world. How and when, you're not sure. Perhaps that was ages ago when Einrich opened the blood portal by reading from the Book of Blood. The event known as Einrich's Folly.
Yeah,
Maybe-
see, this is
Maybe
The-
they
the
aren't
whole-
the enemy after all, and maybe they are an ally.
who was that?
The Sanguine. Maybe there's just one evil one, or maybe Einrich stole some of their secrets of their people.
That's the thing. We know one of them, and we know he's a Slayer, and we know he's a high, very powerful one.
You know, he's good friends with Torch.
It's
Torch is also
probably just my own paranoia. Like I'm accepting of that, but
Torch is also a high-ranking Slayer like the Sanguinare.
That's
mm,
being incredibly racist.
I mean, I'm not trying to be. I'm just saying
So that
I don't trust anyone right now.
we find bodies that have been drained of blood. So instantly, the single person you know who feeds on blood has to be there.
I'm
There
not
are
saying that.
hundreds of these guys.
Maybe thousands. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I mean, could be any
It's
of
just the
them.
fact that I
Might
was
not even
already
be them.
I was already fearing that this might be an inside job.
There are other people who use blood for stuff, like
That's true.
blood mages and blood people who do magic.
And Einrich, who was an elf.
And you're not sure how trustworthy this
Elf?
Gregor is.
Yeah.
Who names
Yeah.
an elf Heinrich?
Einrich.
Whoever also names an elf Zebediah. It's a very unelven name.
Zebediah's an elf? I thought it was a hobgoblin.
Also,
Dimensional reference.
also a weird hobgoblin name.
I vote that we go on to the desert and see what we see there.
The Desert of No Name?
Well, actually, more like the city of the Jewel of the Sands.
I think we
But
should
yeah.
head back to Cog. I could make some stuff with what we got. And then head to the
Okay.
desert.
Plate his armor so it doesn't corrode in the desert sands.
Yes, I learned a lot from those books. They were very helpful.
He also should make his boots wide so that he can walk on the sand without sinking as easy.
You think that might also be a problem?
Also, instead of cogs, maybe some sort of track device that will allow us to grip the car so it doesn't sink.
Oh, no,
Some
that's
sort of
ludicrous.
track.
Ludicrous. Everything has to be cog-shaped.
You were with him up until that point. Nonsense. Nonsense otherwise.
Next thing you're gonna tell me is that we're on a world where it's a flat plane on top of a giant turtle.
What's your problem with the giant turtle? Huh?
Referencing actual Spelljammer planet.
And
Is it really a Spelljammer planet?
mythologies.
Yeah.
It It's popular in a lot of
Well,
mythologies.
a-
And I
there's
think it also
A crystal
shows up in
sphere.
Discworld, right?
Yeah, that's the fundamental of the Discworld. Is it's
And
Yeah.
it's
the space turtle
Actual-
equipped to it.
It's an
Mythology.
actual
Yeah.
real world mythology as well.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm aware. I was just.
there's
I just like the-
one crystal sphere that has this gigantic umber hawk that walks across the outside, and the planet that should have been there is in pieces because it ate it.
I think you and Sean should really have a talk. About Spelljammer. You two would have a good talk.
I
Anyway,
hate to watch that.
yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
3 hours.
So
of just-
I guess we're heading back.
Just talking about lore.
Are we
Scuba war conversation.
are we just gonna head back to the car and go then? No more stuff here.
what else is there?
I
I
mean,
kind of.
We explored
I-
3 of the 11 or whatever labs.
Yeah, there was like almost a dozen of these things, wasn't there?
yeah, there's a lot more.
Deep
But-
into the swamp.
I'm hesitant to. I don't want to just leave. I don't want to split the party and
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
just
say, the
wander
city-
off into the middle of nowhere.
Probably inaccessible.
If we could, I wouldn't be opposed to coming back. If you want to go to Cog, make some stuff to your armor, maybe make it so that it's easier for you to navigate the swamp. That might
The
be
desert?
smart. Both.
Swamp, desert.
Oh yeah.
It would be smart for us or someone at least to come back here and see what else
Yeah.
Hemrick left behind.
I agree.
And, maybe give a proper burial to the poor victims of his experiments.
Yeah, you think there's probably a lot of corpses thrown into the swamp by him.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Okay, you head back. And do. Yay! Random encounter time.
Oh,
Ooh.
joy. Love these.
It's time for an enemy I've been saving.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's
Oh,
not
no.
that's not worrying at all.
That's that's what you want.
Okay. On your way back, you passed this on the way there. You didn't really stop, but it looked like kind of a ways out of the way from one of the buildings, as if maybe off of an old road. There was a bar. Looked like a bar, just kind of a day's kind of travel away from the road. It's like a little bar kind of in place where one could get a drink and stay. You didn't really stay there because it didn't really catch your eye. It did look like it was kind of busy. As you drive past it this time, though, you kind of stop as you notice a pillar of smoke coming from it, and it looks like the building is on fire.
Oh shit.
This building's on fire.
Yeah, I'll stop Coby and go to investigate.
Okay.
Do we hear any like voices or anything? Or
But you hear
we hear what now?
pitched battle, as if people are fighting in the burning building.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Kobe's running in.
As you begin heading towards the building, an old-looking bar sits on the side of the road. Smoke rolls out of it like it's on fire, or a fire has started inside. Suddenly, someone bursts out of the door, falling backwards, their arms clearly cut off, as trails of blood follow them to the ground. Walking out of the burning bar, what can only be described as a demonic suit of armor. Give me a history check, DC 10.
Oh no! I just bought the sword. No.
Okay.
What was
17.
history? You said
History
Yes.
check?
Yes.
11.
24.
Okay.
I got a 1. So that's a 3.
Okay.
17 for me.
Okay. Everyone except Hazel identifies this as a suit of samurai armor.
Oh.
What's
I don't know what that means.
Ancient warriors of the Dragon Clan.
Does Kobe know what Scott knows with that check?
With that check, Coby does know what Scott knows.
Okay, Kobe's very
What the
scared.
fuck is that?
Blood
What
is
is it?
dripping. Blood is dripping from the katana, and it very clearly looks like whoever or whatever is inside the armor has literally cut the arms off of whoever just flew through the door. Its helmet turns your direction. Initiative.
Okay.
Watch your weapons, it's the Sunderer.
The what?
That's all he has time to say on this reaction.
Oh.
23.
I should note, those of you who wish a musical inspiration for this combat, this won't be the only time you play this music in this campaign, but in this particular instance, I do recommend you look up Bloodborne and you look up an OST for Lady Maria.
23.
Lady Maria is definitely a good theme. I thought you were going to say Agni Kai.
Nope, Lady
Kevin,
Maria.
I also got a 23.
On initiatives?
I have a plus. I rolled a 19.
Three-way 23s. All right, who has the highest mod?
I have a +4.
Okay.
5.
Ooh.
Okay. Coby, what's yours?
He's shooting bricks at an 8.
Okay, so Hashke, me, and then Anna, was it?
Mm-hmm. I had 19.
You did,
Hashke.
motherfucker. Just hit
Hashke, Hazel, Anna, the animated suit of armor, which Coby oddly called the Sunderer for some strange reason, and then Cope.
Yeah.
You're up first, Coby, or not Coby? Hashke.
Are we in the car driving, or are we walking?
No, you all got out, kind of moved towards the building.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were running
Everyone
towards
kind
it.
of got out and ran towards the building. If you're still in the car or at the car, that's fine. But you stopped 50 feet from the building.
Oh, do a drive-by, just sit in the car and shoot.
That's what I was thinking. Just keep driving in circles. But
I mean, Backpack could drive.
I moved 30 feet back after he said something about Sunderer, and I'm like, oh, okay, and shoot.
If we were in the middle of combat, I'd say a lot more.
I mean, talking's a free action.
16.
Okay. That's a miss.
Damn.
Oh boy. Okay.
As you go, and it goes off a metal plate that is sewn into the armor.
Legends say that the Sunder is able to sunder any weapon, including artifacts.
Good to know.
I got this.
So why are we fighting it?
You just kill everyone in the bar.
And why are we fighting it?
Because we're the Slayers?
Question mark. We're the Slayers? Question mark.
It's what we get paid to do?
If it's Hazel's turn, I don't know. Are you done, Hashke?
Yeah, for now.
Cool. I'm gonna draw one of my silver arrows. And I'm gonna use my bonus action to try my insightful fighting. So I'm gonna make an insight versus his deception check. Cool.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's a dirty 20.
Okay. You don't get sneak attack against him.
Oh, fuck balls. All right. I'm still gonna shoot him then. Cool. For a whopping. Oh, that's actually pretty good. 10 damage.
Okay.
And backpedaling away. I'm gonna try and circle around the back of the building. And like poke around the corner to shoot at him next
All right.
time.
The building is on fire, so you're not sure how close you want to get to it.
She's mostly trying to look in the windows, see if there's anybody alive.
Okay. All right. You move towards the back of the building, trying to get towards to see that fire a shot off and then run over.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you trying to keep your distance from him, or
I'm trying to keep my distance from him, but go around the back of the building and see if anybody is still alive.
Okay. Anna.
Okay, so first things first, she's going to have to summon her pact weapon. And then with her bonus, she's going to cast Hex. And I'm going to put him at disadvantage on strength checks.
Okay.
And I'm going to get out and I'm going to move forward like I'm going to be the one to take him on.
Okay. Do you have a weapon in your hands?
I do now, yeah. It's my pact flamberger.
Okay. All right. And now the Sunderer goes, as Coby has called him. And let's see. Who is the closest to the Sunderer? It's Anna. However, Hazel did shoot it. Odds, evens. Hazel, you are odds. Anna, you
I
are
did
even.
run further away. I'm not in melee with him.
Evens. Goes after Anna. Two. Okay. Anna,
Mm-hmm.
it moves up with incredibly supernatural swiftness, and with one felt swing of its katana, slices your pact weapon in half, and your weapon unsummons.
That's funny.
It then looks towards Hazel and moves 30 feet towards her.
Oh God! I mean, cool.
It's 10 feet from you, Hazel. And now it's Coby's turn.
I mean, he really doesn't want to do this.
Coby is shitting his pants.
We get like
No,
we get like the Avengers movie where it's like the view from in the helmet, and he just does like he just winces, closes his eyes, and turns away. And he unsheathes his brand new sparkly silvered sword, and he has his power gauntlet fist, and he runs in and attacks him twice.
Okay,
If he
make your
can't,
attack rolls.
if he can, he'll try to flank.
Okay. Well, Anna's 10 feet from him. You can't flank yet, but Hazel, Hazel could move up and flank.
Okay, 17 on the sword.
If Hazel wants to do that. Well, Hazel's wielding a bow, so she's not going to do that right now.
That's the thing. Typically, I think for the sneak attack, as long as I have an ally within 5 feet of it, I think I get it.
Mhm.
Right. But Coby is moving to flank anyway.
Yeah. So
A 17 for the sword.
17 just hits.
Okay, and the fist definitely missed.
This fisting him. That's what they meant.
I like to think he uses the fist to try to block the sword. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Ooh, that would be interesting.
Okay.
I should have went with duelist. Anyway.
And now
No.
we spin back around. Hashke.
7 slashing.
Oh, 7 slashing?
It's
Okay.
silvered, if that helps.
It does. Thank you.
Okay. So shoot. Oops. Nope.
don't you have a
My tray's over there.
no?
It won't hit. When's the last-
Those of you listening to Lady Maria, there is a 1-hour looped version of the song.
Okay. So use action search, try to get another, and use Deadeye to gain advantage.
Look him up.
Does 19 hit?
19 hits.
$15 damage, and I move back 30 feet.
Okay. You're now standing right next to the car.
DJ, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Okay. And now it is Hazel's turn.
I'm gonna. Okay, so first off, I'm gonna use my bonus action because I have my eye for detail thing, which lets me make a perception check it as a bonus action and look in the window to see if I see anybody moving inside.
No. You see chunks of people.
Okay. I'm gonna use my movement to get the fuck out of Dodge.
Most of
Move
them
my
looks
30
like
feet back, and
most of the people that are dead inside look like their arms were cut off.
fantastic.
He disarmed them.
Yeah, I'm moving back over towards where the car is, and I'm gonna shoot him because why not? With my silver arrows. I really wish I had been a crit. That's a 25. I rolled a 19.
Okay.
And then do I have my sneak attack because I do have a good friend Coby that's right up next to his face.
Yeah.
What? 14 damage.
Okay.
That's another arrow. Yeah. And that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Anna.
Okay. Well, seeing how this guy just likes to sunder things all damn day long, She's gonna take her own step back 30 feet and take a plink at him with the Eldritch Blast. No, I'm sorry, I take that back. She's gonna actually unsling that shotgun that she's had on her back and take a shot with that.
Okay.
And that's a nat 20, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice.
We're starting strong. So, let's see. That's a 24 to hit.
Yep,
What
that
was
hits.
it? What am I saying? Okay. 2D. Is it just double the die, so it becomes 4d10? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. 7 and it's a 9. Okay, so plus. So 19 plus 2, 21 shot damage.
Okay. You unload a good shotgun blast into the Sunderer, as he has been called, or it, or them, or her, or whatever. You're not sure. And you don't see any blood. It definitely looks like you're doing damage to it, but you don't see any blood. In fact, none of you have ever. Not a single drop has fallen from whatever this is.
Yeah.
And it's its turn. And there's a Coby right in his face, and Coby has 2 weapons, so he's going to stand there. And the Sunderer makes 4 attacks.
The AC is 18, by the way.
URC.
Yeah.
Okay. He hit 3 times. He sunders your longsword, your gauntlet, and you take 13 damage.
Thirteen damage?
Yep. It
What?
cuts the longsword in half. It cuts the gauntlet, damages the gauntlet to the point where it doesn't work the way it's supposed to, and then cuts into your arm that the gauntlet was on.
Okay, so he doesn't chop off my arm.
No, but he did enough damage that you think if he hits you again, he's going to be cutting your arm off.
Okay. Noted.
Or your hand anyway. He'll be cutting your hand off anyway. And you're like ah, and the cut definitely feels like it went to the bone. And you're just like blood's running out of the armor, and it says nothing. It makes no noise. It makes nothing. No sound at all. It's utterly soundless as it just continues to, as it cut into you. All right, Coby, it's your turn. Both of your weapons are broken and your hand's pretty badly fucked up.
Coby disengages and moves 35 feet back.
Okay.
That's his turn. Because he doesn't want an opportunity attack.
Okay.
Hashke?
Okay.
I jump in the car, start it, tell everybody, get in as I start trying to get moving so people can
Hop on.
hop on.
Okay.
While avoiding being within 30 feet of that guy.
Okay. Well, right now the car is 90 feet from him, so you're good. Hazel.
How far am I from the car right now?
130 feet.
Cool. I'm using my bonus 130 feet. No, fuck it. I have to use the whole thing. I'm using my bonus action to dash and my movement to dash, so I can get 120 feet.
Okay. You're 10 feet from the car.
Yeah.
And
I just turn and book it.
She looks
And as
really
I'm running, I
frustrated.
yell to Coby, I'm like, do you think fire will help? And I pull out the alchemist fire in my pocket.
She looks
I'm
really
not chucking it
frustrated.
yet, but
And how far
Coby-
away from the car?
Coby looks like he's trying to keep his blood inside his body.
Yeah, he's doing the whole holding his arm and you just see blood coming from it. From the giant gauntlet arm. That now the gauntlet's just pretty much gone.
What'd
This
you
thing
say?
doesn't look nearly damaged enough for what we've done so far, right?
It looks like you've damaged it, but it's hard to tell since it's not bleeding.
I
Right,
mean,
okay.
does it look bloodied, so to speak?
You're not sure. If it were something alive, you could tell. Or
Mhm.
undead even. Looked like it was falling apart, but it's hard
How
to
far from
tell.
the car am I?
You are 60 feet.
Okay. I'm gonna dash for the car.
Okay.
Get in.
All right. You dash to the car. You get in, or you just kind of dash to the car, and that's your action.
I mean, I only have 30 foot of movement, so yeah.
Double move. Okay. Yeah. Move. All right. Okay. Let's see, and that makes everyone near the car except Coby again. So the closest target is
Oh shit!
I thought Coby was the first
Coby.
one to go to the car.
Kobe is 35
He
feet
was-
from him because he disengaged.
Yeah, I just moved straight back. I'm not sure if that was towards the car.
I thought it
coincidentally or
was
not.
towards the car, honestly, because we came from the car to the thing. So
Yep.
but
Yeah.
It wasn't his original intention, so I'll leave it up to the universe. If coincidentally I was moving backwards towards the car.
If you were moving backwards, you were moving backwards towards the car because the
Okay.
car was behind.
Okay.
But you are still the closest to him since Huske's in the car. Hazel's 10 feet from the car. Anna's at the car. You're 35 feet from the Sunderer and
Okay.
like 55 feet from the car.
He's like, shit, as he goes to use his uninjured hand to pull out from his side holster his pistol, runs 35 feet closer to the car, fires twice using his action surge.
Okay.
Because holy shit. 14 doesn't.
You're a fighter?
Yeah.
Okay, didn't know that.
Iron Man fighter.
Yeah, both miss. They were under 16.
Okay, yeah. Ting, ting. They bounce off metal in the armor somewhere.
Is it like Samurai Jack, just like...
No.
Okay,
No.
good.
He doesn't even care enough to do that.
No. You don't think it does. And seeing you all kind of run towards the car, it stands in a very defensive maneuver, holding its katana forward at you. But it doesn't appear to be like engaging or chasing towards you.
Okay.
It appears to be defensively standing. Hashke.
I'm basically driving to make sure everyone gets in, and that's about all I'm really doing.
Okay. You can use your 2 actions to pull Anna and Hazel into the car.
I don't have 2 actions.
Well, I
It would
mean, an
be-
action and a move, whatever. Move the car so that
Action
Hazel
would
can
be driving, wouldn't it?
I mean, we can just jump in. You can just hold your action, hit the gas when we are in.
Okay, that works. We can do that.
I'm
Hazel, 10
I'm
feet from the car.
gonna wait to jump in until I know Kobe's in, but I've got my arrow knocked and held on this guy. I'm like, should I try and put another one in him or just go before you piss him off more? I'm asking Coby.
Coby can respond.
We should run.
Cool. Yeah, I'm just holding to shoot this thing if it gets closer, or as soon as Kobe's in, I'm jumping in.
Coby fires one last shot on his way into the car.
Okay. You fire a shot at him.
Oh no! That was shit me.
Go ahead.
Nat 1.
Oh
Okay.
I forget if you have misfire rules. I'm pretty sure you do.
The gun jams.
no! Okay, that's
I
not
can
that
fix that
bad.
later.
You go to fire and the gun jams. You're like, click. Shit. And the gun just like jams.
Coby just
Hazel.
jumps in and tries to
Yeah.
take the driver's seat.
Coby jumps into the car. Hazel, you're last one out. Do you jump in?
Yeah.
Okay. You jump in. What do you guys do? Do you drive off as fast as possible, or?
I'm gonna lean one arm out the window and plink at him with the shotgun.
Okay. Make your attack roll.
Oh, that's probably not gonna get it. No, it's a 12.
Okay. Nope. Ting.
Coby just
Yeah, why not? With her last one is as we're driving off, I'm gonna try another. Can I do another insight versus him to see if that'll work? I don't think it says there's a.
You can do
If
it
it
every.
doesn't work, I can't use it.
You can do it every round.
You can do it every round.
Okay, yeah. Then I'm gonna try it again. No, that's even worse than last time. A 15.
He rolled even higher than last time.
Cool, yeah. But I'm still gonna shoot him.
Okay.
For a 18 to hit.
Okay. You think your shot should have hit him, but as he's standing in a defensive stance, as your arrow flies towards him, he slices the arrow in half in midair and raises his sword again.
Cool. Drive faster.
One arm is just hanging on his side as he's driving one-handed.
Realizing that you're so bloody I'm keeping another arrow pointed at this guy if he looks like he's gonna follow us, but if not, then I'll just...
It stands in a defensive stance until you start
Ooh.
driving off quickly, and then it begins walking towards something.
But not toward us.
Not towards where you're going, no.
Cool, that's all I care about. And then I'm gonna climb over the seat and pass the healing potion over to Coby.
The nearest poor peasant that has a pitchfork somewhere 5 miles away, thinking, I could use this to stab things with.
Coby, you heal 9 hit points. I'm giving you a
Oh,
potion.
no, you're not. I
No,
use
no?
second wind, and I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Fighter.
Okay. What the fuck was that? I'm asking the person who actually called it a name.
You've never heard of the Tales from the Sunderer?
Hi.
No.
Well, I mean,
wasn't
for you, it's
involved in all this
understandable.
monster stuff until recently. My world was a lot more like, humans are the worst monsters around.
Legends say
I
it's
didn't really travel beyond the city much before now.
He goes to explain, this is the best in my words, correct me anytime you want, Blake, that it is possessed armor from a, much like our ghost pirate friend, this is a spirit that sunders armor and weapons. And he was really good at it, to the point where the armor and weapons themselves gain sentience, and it's rumored if somehow you could vanquish this avatar of them, one of the pieces will stay behind and you could use it, but it has a curse on it and you might become possessed by the Sunderer.
Okay.
Okay.
A certain king of the blood whatever has his sword, if I remember correctly.
Do we know that part, though?
I mean, I don't know.
No. As far as you know, it had its sword. It looked whole, like a whole suit of armor walking around. That would explain why it didn't bleed. All of you kind of are like, animated armor. Yeah, not bleeding. Okay, makes more sense. It also makes sense why it would be difficult to judge how dead it was, because it was just a suit of armor walking around.
And then Coby goes on to complain about how expensive that sword was and how long it'll take to repair it, and his armor. More his armor than anything else.
Well,
It's a silver
hopefully we'll
sword.
get
You
a
just
decent...
reforge it. So
Yeah, but
that-
how much of it was left out there in the grass
Oh.
in front of what's his nuts?
No, that's his problem.
I mean, I don't think you really took the time to bend down and show this dude your neck to grab the blade.
Well,
You're pretty sure he would have sundered your head from your body if you
Yeah.
had done that courtesy, but you think your father could probably replace it if you gave him money for a new one.
Hell, maybe the Slayers will replace it if we tell them we found it while we were out searching for...
Could be. The legend does
stuff.
kind of carry weight.
That, and we literally ran into this guy while doing a job for them. And
Right.
they usually refund us whatever weapons we've used in the process.
Right. On the way to the desert city, you know that stopping at the archives to the bunker there is probably literally like right on the way. So, you kind of, that might be a good way to stop.
Might as well.
So you go back
It's a
that
place
way,
we know that's safe to rest.
finish your journey, and I already rolled dream percentage. You don't dream travel at all during your time there or back. Oddly enough, even though the percentage is incredibly high, the Red Dice of Doom liked you today.
Thank God.
Which is unusual. That just means they'll hate you 10 times more later.
Oh, yeah.
Just rest assured, recompense will be paid. And so you stay at the bunker and you rest, and I already rolled that percentage. You're good. I'm not going to count that as a different thing than what I've already rolled. And you...
we end around here.
We can if you want to end.
Yeah,
We still have
possibly.
another.
It's been around 3 hours, I think.
It's up to you guys. We can get to the city and stop at the Desert City if you want.
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I just
All right.
realized what time
Do we
it was.
want to leave any stuff here at the museum? We should
We can
definitely
drop off
return
the
the
tapes.
tapes. And I'll tell the. Do the Warforged guards they're the same dudes that we recognize, right? They look the same.
Yep.
It occurs to me that we've never asked your names.
13, 18, they reply.
A
Okay.
tear just comes down. No one's ever asked us our names before.
You're fairly certain most people probably don't.
And I'm gonna tell them that along with the tapes that we found, the hymn tapes we found an extra one. There's one in there that's new that has never been heard before, and also a recorder that somebody was using to listen to them.
That's terrible news indeed.
Do we have anything else? I'm looking at Coby. I'm trying to hint about the paperwork. I don't. If you don't want to leave it, she doesn't care. But
Would Coby think they would take it if he mentioned it?
Yeah, they would lock it up with everything else.
Okay, he's not going to mention it then.
Okay.
okay, I think that's it then.
Well, if that's all, then we'll lock this up so no one else can find it.
Yeah.
They look at each other and look back at you. Hopefully.
Hopefully. While we're here, do we want to see about? No, we can do that another time. Yeah, I feel like this is a bit more pressing.
As part of Kobe's second wind, I'll say like one of his fingers was broke, and he just like
Oh,
he sundered my gauntlet that my fingers were in.
Oh yeah, no, he super
Yeah.
broke your entire hand.
Right.
I imagine you, because it's like a 7-night journey back, right?
Yeah.
You probably had a couple nights. You probably spent several days resetting those fingers.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
that's
Your
fine.
entire hand is probably purple for like the next 2 weeks.
It looks like I have the gauntlet on. It's just that big.
You have like another gauntlet made out of like stints and bandages, and then you just put the gauntlet on over top of it.
Pretty much.
You recover up. Coby, I will let you spend 2 scrap to fix your gauntlet.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay.
Oh, can you do something to help him fix his gun?
It's just a jam.
Oh, it's just a jam. You can just
yeah, we
clear
should
it
be able to
easily.
fix that.
It just takes a move action to clear it.
Yeah.
Just a
Yeah,
little
pretty
this
much.
action to clear the gun up.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything else here that we need to
Okay.
look
You
on.
rest here and then begin your journey to the sands. Okay. You make it to the desert city without any dream occurrences.
Okay. What does it look like? Or are you going to tell us next time?
I'll tell you now.
Ooh,
You
okay.
get to the outskirts of the city. As you see in the distance, what normally it looks like just sand in every direction, a massive structure made entirely of sandstone, standing in the very center of what looks to be just a colossal city. This city looks as though the pavement and everything were just recently just all nice and freshly put down. The city lights and everything are all aglow. The jewel in the sands, as it is called, literally gets its name from how bright and brilliant it looks at all times. You happen to get there at night, and the brilliant glow of neon is seen from some of the signs within the city. You see also several structures that looks as though they're made to withstand high winds around the outside of the city. Not like walls, but kind of like a buffet of sorts, so that the city streets themselves aren't buffeted with very high winds. You note on the way down here, it took every bit of Kobe's ability to drive to keep the car on the tracks because of the wind that happens to be blowing in the area. The desert is known for its high winds and blasting sands, and it's not any different than that in your car. The only difference is you think a train probably has more mass and won't be blown over as easy. Well, the car definitely isn't. You see churning under the sands around the city the legendary sandworms that live in the area.
Salud.
Sandworms here, you do see several people using them like they are mounts, as if they are horses that they burrow around in the sands with. They're wearing armor and carrying weapons like any of the rest of you, but their weapons and armor look modified to withstand going under the sand with their giant mount of sorts. These giant sandworms are as big as horses, I should state.
Okay.
They're not small.
Are they purple?
But they're not purple
Yes.
worms.
They are purple.
Does everyone have blue on blue eyes?
No.
Does it smell like
Oddly
cinnamon?
It smells like cinnamon?
Melange
Oddly
does.
enough,
Oh, okay.
you don't think that these worms count as Shai-Halud.
Does the sand look like it's shifting around here?
Yes, it does.
As in bottles or vials or little packets.
For those wondering, that's
Right.
all Dune references.
Spice package.
Well, and other things.
Like
Yeah.
80% of it there.
Right.
All right. So,
Yeah. This place is awesome. I'm excited.
Cool.
And you see standing around the outside of the city next to the guards that have their sandworm mounts, other guards. You know the guards and people who protect this city are all independent. They follow no known empire. They founded the city and live here of their own free will. And the law in the city is you don't stand in the way of the guard.
That seems like a fair law.
Everything else is pretty much up to their discretion. And we will stop there.
Okay.
Our dear adventurers have acquired quite a mass of wealth and avoided certain dismemberment at the hands of the Sunbearer. Of where it went, we do not know. Hopefully somewhere far away. They acquired quite a mass of wealth they stored in the archives and rescued the lost logs of Heinrich Venrick, the terrible mad scientist, locking the logs away, hopefully for no one to find again. Now we stop, and they've taken a bit of a respite, standing and staring at the view of the wondrous jewel in the sands.
Nice. Nice.
Tomorrow, 9 a.m. here, Dragon Heist.
Yay.
Oh
Yeah?
yeah.
Yeah.
special guest player.
Oh, she will be there? Oh, yeah.
I'm
We'll
guessing.
have Aya there.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy.
Okay. Well, maybe. We'll see.
I apologize in advance because she might team up with Patience. Chaos ensues.
Oh, God. We're all dead. No, you guys are dead.
Well,
Hi, son. How's it
only
going?
one of you is going to be dead.
Yeah, Patience.
Yeah, definitely Patience. He's super gonna die.
Oh, Terry's so happy.
He's so happy. He's like, oh my God, I hear you saying your goodbyes. Play with me. Pay attention.
I guess the other plug would be Friday, 7:30 Eastern Standard. We'll be continuing the Halloween special adventure, Legend of Suicune Lake, for Retroverse. Our group has one of the 5 neon dragon cards they need to escape this horrible haunted campground that may or may not have been.
Pick up the pace, or else we're gonna have to go to 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta put the pedal to the metal and get those cards. Hopefully it'll be easier this time because our Yost won't be a cardboard cutout.
Well, I mean, we'll see how well they fare against the Undying Slasher.
Oh God, yeah, that's the thing. That's a thing. I'm excited.
All right. Does anyone else got anything?
I don't think so.
Okay, cool. Thanks
Have a
again.
good night, everyone.
Yeah.
See ya. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Harry says bye.